Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 5 of the Simply Complicated podcast. Wait, what the hell? What is that? Okay, let's...
What have you done?
What have you done?
Oh my god. It should be the chat. It should be the YouTube
Hey
chat.
everybody, welcome to the podcast that Sam makes simply complicated.
You couldn't make this stuff up, honestly. You could not
I can't
make
even
this
see it.
stuff up.
What happened?
Basically, instead of having the chat on screen, for some reason, it decided to put up the entire, like, Chrome/YouTube browser.
Oh,
He had a window
So,
over our podcast.
Yeah, so with that failing out of the way, I hope you all enjoyed the laugh.
Sam,
This
it's
is-
still there.
Yeah, I know, I'm in the middle of sort of fixing that now.
Okay.
Right, now I've got to move it back. But it's gone missing. Do you guys want
There you
to
go.
sort of take over while I try and fix this?
Yeah,
no,
sure.
really. I think we should all watch you suffer.
Welcome everybody to the Simply Complicated podcast, where we take a topic and make it simply complicated. I am Alan, aka Rubbish Gaming TV, and this is...
I'm James, aka Withered Waste.
And I'm Primal, the failure. How you doing?
Primal Kermit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Primal Kermit.
Right, well, shall we start?
Shall we
the
jump on
first
a topic while he is trying to comprehend life?
Yeah.
It's done, it's done. I've done it.
Oh,
It's
there
right,
we go.
with
Yeah,
me
sorted.
moving it off screen, it sort of disappeared, so I had to try and bring it back. Right, so, oh my god.
Blooper
With-
reel.
With that failure out of the way, we have a whole bunch of topics this week. Quite a lot, actually, so let's see how many we get through, because I don't know if we're going to get through them all. So we've got a few different things. More next-gen horrors, free game upgrades. The latest series Nvidia cards are basically broken as all hell. And
I wouldn't say all hell, but yeah.
I mean, they're pretty broken. But there's also quite a lot of big news in the actual game industry in general. So I think we might as well just jump straight into it, to be honest, today. So let's start off with upgrades. So we know a lot of games are going to be getting free upgrades for next-gen consoles. We know there's a few older games as well now, like a very specifically leaked Grand Theft Auto 5 is going to get a free upgrade to next-gen. Now, what do you guys think about that? Because, I mean, we've talked about this a little sort of in private as well. Not so much this specific case, but upgrades in general. I mean, obviously, games that are coming out within, like, the last month or two should definitely get a free upgrade to next gen, just because of how close they are. But
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
when you look at old games like Grand Theft Auto 5, what are your opinions on an upgrade for that?
A waste of time. To me, that just shows that they're not looking to make any more GTAs, at least for the time being. It's basically like a case of... Hang on, I need to mute the video. But they're trying to basically milk this for as much money as they can. So they're probably going to bring out... If they're going to give you a free upgrade to PS5, I imagine they're going to bring out a PS5 disc version of it as well.
I agree. They're trying to keep GTA 5 alive rather than bringing out another one, a fresh GTA 6 on next-gen console.
I mean, who's to say they're not working on a next-gen one, though? Because when you think about it, like, the PS4 and PS5 architecture isn't that different. It's like, I mean, it's not going to be as simple as printing it on a new disc, that's for sure. But it's probably also not that hard to actually port it over to the PS5. Because, I mean, well, no one has said anything about any, like, graphical upgrades or new content or anything like that. So, to me, it does sound like a straight port. So, in terms of resources needed, I imagine they aren't actually that high, to be honest. So, they can still work on GTA 6 and still port 5 over.
Yeah, but there was already talk years ago about them working on 6. GTA 5 is how old now? Like, it needs to be left alone.
It's like 5 years, ain't it?
I don't know why they're trying to keep it alive.
Because it originally released on the PS3.
Yeah, it did.
Because that's when I.
But that's what worries me. If they are making GTA 6, why are you bothering with this?
So they can
like, it's not a bad thing. It's just a why.
It just seems desperate.
So the way I see it is, it's kind of like you said, Al. They want to milk. I think it's just they want to milk the online stuff, like all the online credits and that. I think they just want to milk sales for that.
It definitely does seem like that's the move.
I mean, it's EA though, isn't it? No, it's Rockstar.
No, it's Rockstar, yeah. But
Rockstar.
again, that is a Rockstar thing though as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a lot of companies, well, I say a lot of companies, like, you can name some of the absolute worst business tactics in the gaming industry.
Okay, so what they should have done was not have GTA 5 as upgradable to PS5, but have, if it isn't already, I'm not sure, Red Dead 2 upgradable, because that's Rockstar as well.
I mean, maybe they will.
And it's a fresher game than GTA.
Yeah, but it's also not as popular though.
Yeah, that's true. Like,
that's
the
probably because
playability
they
does
completely
fall off
fucked up
for
the
a while.
online.
The amount of money they must be making on GTA Online, like, I can see why they're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, business-wise, it is a typical smart move. Like, it's going to make them money, essentially. It's going to make them a lot more than it costs them to do, basically.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely...
I've got a problem with it, but fine. Like, business-wise, I guess it makes sense.
Well, what problem do you have with it?
Just for the fact that I'm sick of Rockstar milking GTA 5, that is simply it. Like, just work on something else already.
Thing is, though, that can be said about a lot of companies and a lot of games, to be fair.
It can be, and I'd have the same problem with that.
I know what you're saying about GTA 5, like, it is the same game, but then you get into the territory of things like FIFA, WWE, PES. Wait, is PES even still a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing with these is that they come out yearly. GTA isn't. So you kind of need to port your current game over because you want your player base to come over.
Yeah.
So until you release the next game the next year, you need to port that over. GTA, it's been out for, I mean, do we know how many years now? Is it like 6 years or what?
I think somebody said in chat it was 6 years.
Yeah, I've actually figured out a way to actually get chat working on Streamlabs now as well, so I can actually look at the chat myself for once on the podcast.
6 years. I mean,
yeah,
that's not a game I expect to be carried over. I mean, it's not a bad thing that's getting carried over. It's just a weird thing.
Here's the thing, though, where Merc in chat has actually brought up a very interesting point. This isn't the first game that's done this. There is one other game. Skyrim.
Yeah.
Now, tell me a console or a platform that Skyrim is not on.
Yeah, but again...
GameCube.
I mean, you could probably get a mod running on the GameCube for it, to be fair.
But Skyrim don't bring out more games. So you've had, what, 3 Skyrim games if you include the online one? So you had what was the original one called again?
No, Skyrim's just part of the Elder Scrolls series.
Yeah, it's an Elder Scrolls series, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the first game was...
No, I'm on about how Skyrim comes out to every other goddamn platform.
Yeah, but that's because they're not releasing any other games, are they? There's just Skyrim. That's only
they've released multiple games after Skyrim.
There's how many Skyrims are there?
There's only one Skyrim.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about they don't release any other games at all. I'm talking about Skyrim itself. So the reason as to why Skyrim will be on other platforms is because everyone plays it, and they don't release a Skyrim 2.
No. Right. I think you're getting slightly mixed up here.
Probably.
So Skyrim is just one of the names for an Elder Scrolls game. So you've got like Elder Scrolls 1, Elder Scrolls 2, Elder Scrolls 3, Elder Scrolls Skyrim.
Yeah, and then there's been nothing since then apart from Skyrim Online, right?
No, there's been like 3 Elder Scrolls games since then.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I meant. I don't know.
Like, they're still making new games now, and they're working on a new Elder Scrolls right now. That's going to be next gen more than likely. But yeah, I mean, it's like you had Skyrim, and that originally came out on Xbox 360 and PS3. Since then, it's gone to Xbox One, PS4, Switch, PC. I think it's got a mobile port. So it is literally on everything.
And this is they're still bringing out other games, but only Skyrim's getting ported over.
I mean, the games they bring out typically end up multi-platform anyway. But every time like a new platform comes out,
Skyrim
they
gets
bring a
ported.
Skyrim to it.
That's even weirder than GTA to me. Like,
Here's the question though: Skyrim on PS5 and Xbox Series X when? It's gonna happen. Let's be honest, it's gonna happen.
I mean, it won't be day one, I don't think.
No, it's not gonna be day one, but it is gonna happen in my opinion. Like it has to just for the meme.
It'll be on Game Pass on the Xbox.
Yeah, so they don't really need to do
more
anything.
likely. Yeah, I suppose.
That's the one great thing about Xbox is pretty much every game is going to be ported over anyway because you've got the Game Pass.
I mean, even
Yeah.
then, you don't really need the Game Pass. Like, it's backwards compatible, so you can just pop the disc in if you've got it.
Well, yeah, that as well, but...
Yeah. But yeah, I
hate
mean... So... In fact, did Skyrim... No, Skyrim never did the upgrades, did they? Skyrim never did free upgrades. They were always charge ones.
I don't know.
Because I can't... Yeah, I can't think of them doing a free upgrade for, like, PS3 to PS4, for example. I think you still had to pay. So I suppose it's... Like, what would you guys prefer? Obviously, you've got the free upgrades of older games. Or would you rather the company focus on new games entirely and just leave past-gen games in the past?
I think a bit of both. I think if the games are relatively new releases, a year or two, yeah, fine, upgrade them. But then again, it also comes down to fan base as well, because if people are still playing the game, they're definitely going to want to play it on the next gen.
I mean...
But I also do want to see new games made, though.
Skyrim is still sort of alive, but that's mainly on PC because of all the mods. Like, the modding community for Skyrim is insanely massive.
Yeah, but you can't really count that, I don't think, because mods keep any game alive.
Yeah, it's not technically the game when you're just playing mods.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair...
Apart from the HD mod,
like,
that's...
yeah, a lot of the mods are typically graphic mods, like graphical mods. I mean, you do have some gameplay altering ones, yeah, but I think the majority are graphical in some nature or another.
Yeah.
Speaking of remasters, though, so we know about Spider-Man Miles Morales coming to PS5 and PS4
Morales.
and all that. Yeah.
Morals.
Yeah.
Morals.
I mean, the company needs some morals for this game, that's for sure. But no, so they're bringing Spider-Man from the PS4, like the PS4 version of Spider-Man, and they're bundling it with the game. So if you buy the Ultimate Edition, you get the older Spider-Man for
Yeah,
the bundle,
but
essentially.
only that copy is upgradable, not a current copy you may already have.
Yes, so that...
And you can't use your save from the PS4.
Oh, shit, really?
So
Yeah.
that isn't actually my problem with this. My problem is they're calling it a remaster. Now, here's the thing. The game is native 4K on the PS4. It is native 4K. It runs at 60 FPS. And the remaster...
It's also not old enough yet to warrant a remaster.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's the thing. The remaster is just coming out. Like, no graphical updates, no gameplay updates. How is that a remaster?
It's the exact same game.
Yeah, it's a port. It's not a remaster.
Now,
Only it's a bit of a screw job because you need to buy that edition of Miles Morales to get that version of the PS4 Spider-Man to make that upgradable.
But this is where I have an issue, okay? Which I've said to Sam about it. You don't have to buy that edition. You can go and buy the PS4 disc for cheaper if you want, and then you can put that into your PS5.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, that would literally...
This whole uproar is ridiculous.
But here's the thing, though, like...
I don't think it's as complicated as it seems.
I mean, I think the problem at first is the mix-up of information they were putting out.
Yeah,
Right.
now that's
Like,
a laughable
me and you were talking about this, James, the other day. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think the situation itself is complicated. I think the information they were putting out made it complicated. This is both on Sony and Insomniac. So it's like, I don't think the situation itself is that bad. It's like, as you say, I mean, just if you want it, just go buy the PS4 disc. It's the same game. Like, there's nothing going to be different. It's not a remaster. Like, they can put remaster on the name all they want. It's not a remaster. It's literally
not.
just the PS4 game.
I think they've put that name on it just so they sell that edition.
Right, so here's what does my nut in. They're not the only one doing it. So many places are saying, remaster this. This is a remaster. No, it's the same fucking game.
Yeah.
It's like, there are so many games on PS4 that are coming to, like, PS5 and things like that are being called remasters. People
It should spark a lawsuit, really.
I mean, people need to learn what remaster is. Like a remaster...
I mean, the game companies know what a remaster is. They do them. But there's got to be some sort of loophole as to what's allowing them to call it that.
I mean, I guess the fact they could just say the console upscales it to 8K allows them to call it a remaster. Because I mean, if the files are already in 4K for the base game itself, the console should be able to upscale that through its built-in upscaler, because that's how the consoles are actually achieving 8K.
Yeah, but that wouldn't make a remaster though, because your current copy of Spider-Man would be able to get upscaled.
Yeah, that's true as well.
I don't know if it would work that way. Like, I don't think the PS5 can upscale PS4 games to 8K.
Right.
So maybe they have to tweak something in the base files of the Spider-Man, and that's why they're calling it remaster. But again, I'm not a programmer, I'm not a coder, I'm not a game designer, I have no idea. But on a fundamental level, it's definitely not a remaster.
I don't know why they didn't just make the current copy upgradable to save confusion, because then you've got to buy the second copy. You might already have one, so now you've got two. Then you've got to upgrade one of them, wait for that.
But
However,
remember,
whatever the process is, but...
The reason as to why it's not upgradable is because it's still the same game. So the ones that are upgradable, like say your Call of Duty Cold War, the reason why it's upgradable is because you've got the PS4 version, which is a lot different to the PS5 version. You don't need to upgrade the PS4 version of Spider-Man because your PS4 disc will play the exact same game.
Yeah, because it's like, if you look at, well, in the context that James just gave, like, let's talk about Call of Duty specifically in this situation. You've got 4K 60 FPS on PS4, and then what they're touting, whether it's true or not is a different kettle of fish, is 8K 120 FPS on the PS5. So that in and of itself is an upgradable feature, sort of. So that's why they'll allow the upgrade there, and plus, I mean, they know their entire platform is going to move to next gen eventually. So they'd rather you buy the game on release and then upgrade it to the next gen.
But then the Call of Duty one's not even free, is it? You have to pay for the two versions. I think it's like £10 extra.
Yeah, it's like you pay the difference between the versions, basically. That's the way they did it with the PS4 as well.
I don't think you pay the difference. I think you just pay for the PS5 version, and it comes with the PS4 version. From when I was looking.
I don't know, when I was looking, you could... Like, I was going to pre-order it today on the PS Store. You can pre-order the normal edition, or you can pre-order the PS4 edition, which comes with a free upgrade, although it's technically not free because it costs more.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah, you can pre-order... you can pre-order like that and get it that way as well. But the way they did it back on the PS4 and Xbox One is with Call of Duty Ghost. You could buy the game for, say, 40 quid, and then when you got next gen, you could pay £10 to get the upgraded version, which was just the difference in cost. And I think that's the way they're working it this time as well. I think it's just the difference. So if you pay, say, 60 to buy the PS4 copy, you just pay 10 to take you up to the 70 for the PS5 copy.
Yeah, which is what I mean. Right, that's what they're doing. So you'd pay 70 for the PS4 copy, but it comes with the PS5 copy, sort of thing. Yeah. So you just pay, you're just paying in advance instead.
Pretty much, yeah. Although to be fair, I think this time I'm actually just going to go straight for the collector's edition for COD, just because of how much fun we had on the alpha.
You really sold on this COD?
I am, yeah.
It is a good COD, but I don't know if it's that good.
I mean, it's alpha though. It's alpha. A lot will change between now and release.
I mean, we do have like 6 betas to go, so I mean, I'm still going to keep trying it. You know.
We don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
we've got like 2 betas left. Remember, you got the information wrong.
We have more than 2 betas. Like I brought the list up last week on the podcast.
Yeah, we've already discussed that you got it wrong. Apparently, it was alpha this weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that wasn't on the list I was telling you about.
But I want to say about how much of a shit show PS5's release is right now. I think we need to speak about this.
Mm-hmm. So
first off, like we've already spoken about the information they've given us about Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the actual release for the pre-orders going live, as well as the second wave, which we'll get into in a second, everything regarding the PS5 has gone tits up. Nothing has gone well. And then you compare it to Xbox, they're just flying through.
I mean, their pre-orders are sort of a mess now as well. It's like,
in the sense that they don't have the stock, but aside from that,
it's like Xbox pre-orders went live and they were sold out instantly again as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
but that's not as a bad thing. That's just because everyone brought it. Whereas PS5, it was boom, here's the pre-orders. There was no pre-order.
I think both situations are a mess, but Sony is definitely in the biggest shithole at the moment over it.
Oh yeah,
because it's like they brought. I mean, as you say, they brought out a second wave of pre-orders basically, and I mean, me and you didn't get notified about it. Like me and you couldn't find information about this anywhere until it was too late, basically.
yeah. I mean, they did send me an email, but I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Does
But-
this
that's
change
my own fault.
anybody's opinion on the question from last week of what the king of consoles will be?
Not really.
I think-
you still think with the shit show that's happening with PlayStation at the moment, they'll still come out on top.
Especially with the stuff we're going to
Yeah.
talk about soon, I think Xbox might be on top on release. I think
I think
PS5 will take over a couple of months down the line, maybe half a year.
I'm not sure on that because it depends on who has the most stock for launch.
So PS5 don't even have enough stock for launch.
Yeah, but they have said
At the
that there's
moment,
more
but-
consoles coming towards the end of the year,
So-
which makes you think that they've got backup batteries coming in for post-release.
So a lot of people that pre-ordered on the Sony's website for their console
I'm not getting it.
aren't
until
going to get it
December.
until December.
That's
So that goes to
only-
show they do not have enough stock.
That's
for
only
what's
for
even
their own
already
pre-orders,
pre-ordered.
though. That's only for
Amazon-
their own. But here's
Amazon have also stated that people won't be getting it on release date as well when they pre-order through Amazon.
Yeah.
So here's the thing with both of those places: they didn't limit pre-orders initially. I think they are limiting now. But initially, when the pre-orders went live, both Amazon and Sony were just flying through them. Like everybody was pre-ordering with them, and they didn't cut them off, like due to an actual physical limit they had. They just kept
But
the
if-
pre-orders going. They did have a disclaimer basically saying you can pre-order this, but we can't guarantee release date. Like you might be subject to stock availability, basically. Which,
Yeah.
again, is one of those little tiny loopholes. But you've got to look at places like Game Shop 2 and things like that, like actual stores and that. They are limiting pre-orders to how much stock they are allocated, essentially. Whereas Amazon and Sony, yeah, they're saying you're not going to get your console day one, but that is their own fault for basically allowing all these pre-orders to go through in the first place.
But am I the only one in thinking that if there was one place that would expect to be able to pre-order and get it on day one, would be from Sony's website? They make the damn thing.
He's got a point.
Yeah, but I mean, really, when you look at actual sales, how many do you think typically go through Sony's website?
I would have. I was literally considering, like, when Wave 2 finally comes, I'm going to go through Sony because I know that, for instance, Amazon aren't going to deliver on day one. How can I trust the rest? If there's anyone I'm going to trust, it's going to be Sony. And then this comes out. So it's like...
I mean, there was that bit of information they released a while ago, how they were doubling their production to essentially meet... Well, they weren't doubling their production, they were increasing their production to have essentially double the amount of PS5s than they had PS4s on launch. And
Yeah.
I don't believe they've done that yet. There's no way that they've sold out of that many PS5s already.
I think they're in the process of doing it, hence the second wave of
They mu-
pre-orders coming so
Yeah.
soon.
But that's
They-
already gone.
They would likely
Yeah,
be
but
in
I
the
mean, how many
process of
more
doing it.
sets are they going to do?
But How would they manage to do that based on limited stock?
What do you mean?
Well, because there were limited amounts anyway, weren't they? So did you
Yeah,
say
so-
that?
What
Go on.
I think they're doing is they're upgrading their capacity to produce new consoles. As these consoles are actually being produced, so they have actual physical units, they're going to allocate them to the actual like stores and that. So like Game Shop 2, Amazon, things like that. I think at the moment they're basically releasing them in waves, just so they don't say take 1 million pre-orders, but then everywhere only has 500,000 copies.
So going from that, do you feel there's going to be a third wave?
I think there's going to be a third, a fourth, a fifth. I think they're going to keep on
If
and on
you
and on having
if you think
waves.
that's the case, then why do you think that Sony have told half of their pre-orders that they're not going to get it until December?
Probably maybe
because
there's,
that's a bit of a
so maybe there's
like,
something like existing contracts with other chain stores like Amazon Game, places like that. Maybe Sony have to like fill their pre-order quotas.
To
Like,
be fair,
I don't know.
we are talking about how much of a shit show it is, but these troubles do come with high demands. When the high demands come in for a console, they will be faced with this kind of shit.
I don't
This
even
one-
think it's the demand that's done it. I think it's them leaving it so late.
Yeah, and I don't think this is
Yeah,
much
it
of
could
the
be, actually.
shitstorm. This part, I think the rest of it is. This bit is just good news. It's more so they're selling out great. It's
Yeah.
not so much their fault. It's the way that they announced the pre-orders, for instance. That was the issue.
Yeah.
So people couldn't get hold of one, and that's the problem. The fact that they don't have the stock, I can understand it. We've got a pandemic and so on going on. I don't expect them to be able to make billions and billions of the consoles.
Not only that, I mean, you've got to look. There were a couple of months where, I mean, let's be honest, the consoles are made in China. Like, everybody knows that. And there was that time at the start of the pandemic where China basically shut down. Like, warehouses and factories and that were shut down for a long time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that in itself is a lot of units that they lost initially. So, I mean, I think when people say, like, I mean, one of the things I've been seeing a lot is, oh, this launch is shit compared to last gen. Like, there's so many problems. And I'm like, look at the state of the world we're in now compared to back at last gen launch. Like, there's a very big difference there. Because it's like, how many units would Sony be putting out a day? Like, all their factories combined, how many units would they put out a day in operation? Like, just rough guess. It'd be multiple of thousands, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, if they lose 2 months worth of production, that's going to be a lot of units. So it's like, it's kind of obvious that they're going to be behind. But this isn't solely a Sony problem. This is an Xbox problem as well. Pre-orders went live
It's
for
not
them.
even that. It's an everything problem. Everything's like anything that's being released soon. So you've got the new graphics cards. There's a high demand on those, low production because
I mean, that's more bot purchases.
that as well. But
Like,
the
that
amount
is
that
the-
they have to sell is going to be an issue because of the same thing.
But I mean, well, you segued us pretty well there, actually, James. We might as well talk about the elephant in the room.
Well, Alan,
Me. I was gonna say.
So, we were talking about how salty I am over the 3090 being so damn amazing. And
Is there another rank coming?
no. Like, if anything, this is a win for me. This is a win for me. Because the latest 30,000 GTX graphics cards are fucked, basically. Like, completely and utterly fucked. They keep crashing. And the reason for that is cheap power capacitors on the card. So essentially the card is drawing too much power and it's creating like interference. And that's essentially crashing the card. It's like, we were talking about this in the Discord server the other day. And I started really looking into it to find out what was going on. And that's what I come across. Founders cards seem to be okay. Seem to be. There are reports of some of them having issues, but nowhere near as many as third-party cards. And the reason for that is the power capacitors. So essentially, the way the Founders cards are is they have 6 capacitors on the back. 5 of them are kind of cheap ones, but then they have like one high-end capacitor, the Founders do. That's for the 3070 and the 3080. The 3090 has 4 cheap ones, 2 good ones. But the third-party cards are just going 6 cheap ones, essentially. And that's why they're pretty much bricks at this point.
So they're copying out.
Yeah, they're copying out big time, and it's costing them. Like,
but do you think that this is every single production graphics card, or because when you look at all of the reviews or the stress tests,
so
they don't seem to have any problems?
So there are a couple of YouTubers who have already got their hands on them and all that. They've literally taken a bunch of them apart. Well, particularly Jay's 2 cents. He took, I think it was like 6 of them apart and checked the capacitors on all of them. Only one of them actually had a decent capacitor from a third party. All the others were just cheap ones. So out of 6 cards, 5 of them were essentially useless. You are right, though, in the effect that they are putting out good numbers. But because of this problem with the capacitor, the only way they have of effectively getting around it is they have to release a driver update, which puts a limit on the card. Essentially meaning the boost clocks on that card are going to be way lower than what they are currently. So they're going to be lower, but they're going to be stable. They're going to work.
But that's a current solution, right? I'm guessing in the long term they're going to
have to, yeah, they're going to have to essentially change production for all future cards.
Yeah, and so I assume everyone that's got a current one will get a recall.
I'd imagine
Probably not.
It'd be extremely unfair if they didn't.
I mean, typically in cases like this, they don't really do recalls unless it is literally bricked. If they release a driver that fixes it, then it'll be fine. Because, I mean, when you think about it, like, when you look at a graphics card box, it will have a base speed on it. So I think the base speed for the 3080 is about 1700 megahertz, or thereabout. Now, as long as they still hit that speed, legally, they're perfectly fine. Now, with the boost clocks, though, 3080s are going as high as like 1900, 2000 megahertz. So if they limit that with a driver, legally, they're perfectly fine. Sure, it's unfair to the consumer, but...
Yeah, because they've technically not got a 3080 then, if that's the case. Because everyone else has got better...
No, they technically do. It's like, as long as they get that base frequency that's on the box, they can't say anything. Because at the end of the day, it's like you can have two 3080s. One can hit 1900 megahertz and one can hit 1950. Yeah, and that is just down to silicone lottery, basically. That depends on how lucky you get with the stuff in it and that. So it's like, as long as they hit that base, they don't have to refund the cards or anything. I imagine some will, but I don't see them all doing it. But yeah, I
think that would cause a bit of an uproar, though. I know if I had one of them, I would be complaining to them.
Yeah, I'd imagine there's going to be a few people that aren't happy about that.
Pretty much the entire internet. Well, I say that. Pretty much anybody on the internet lucky enough to have been able to buy one. Because they're still sold out everywhere, basically. It's like you can't get them anywhere. Because of all the bots buying them.
And you say about the bots, but the bots don't just buy that. I guarantee the bots have been buying the PS5s, the Xboxes, everything.
It's like so the bot
anything that's got resale value.
Well, the bot purchasing problem did originally start out with the graphics cards, but now over the years they've migrated. So it's like consoles, Yeezys, graphics cards, games even. It's like, you know, that Super Mario collection on the Switch that released. It's the 3 Mario games. They do it on that as well. It's like the bots were buying the games for 40 quid. Boom, straight on eBay. 250, 300 quid. Selling instantly like hotcakes. It makes me think I'm in the wrong bloody business, to be honest.
Well, with an intro like today's, you definitely are.
Oh my god. One of these days, the podcast is going to start smoothly. Hopefully. All being well.
Not about that.
But no, I mean... Let's be honest, like, it's not just the graphics card, as you said, James. Like, technology in general is completely having a shit show this year.
Yeah,
it's like
and
games,
I think people
consoles,
forget what the world's going through right now.
Pretty much.
They're too wrapped up in what they want.
Yeah.
You need to understand that obviously things aren't going to go smoothly. I think PS5 have got a lot to blame on themselves. Well, Sony, sorry, but...
It's like, they could have handled it themselves better, for sure.
Yeah, for production, we can forgive them for. Everything else, it's absolute shit show.
Yeah. But I mean, even Xbox isn't doing that amazing, though. Like,
my question, and it'll always go back to the same one I asked previous episodes ago. Do you think they could have both handled this better had they just prolonged it a year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I don't think they needed to prolong it, though. I think they just needed to release the info earlier. Like, rather than leaving it until a month before release.
I think that would have helped, but especially for production, I think it would have been a lot better for them to just hold out until, say, January.
Side, yeah, they definitely needed more time, for sure. But
yeah, they don't need to wait a whole year, but sometime.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they would have had such a clusterfuck if they did release the information earlier, though. Like, as long as people had time to prepare, like, all they had to do was basically... I mean, even 6 months ago. Hey guys,
it was all done late though, wasn't it? Because even the announcement of next gen wasn't at the beginning of the year, was it? We were like halfway through with when the announcement dropped, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
So even the announcement was late, considering when they planned release.
I mean, we did sort of know about it last year, in fairness, but it wasn't confirmed.
Yeah.
It's like the rumor mills were basically knocked into super overdrive last year with next gen talk and all these like dev kits appearing and all that.
Yeah, but that's as well because of the time.
Yeah.
We all know now how long it takes for the next console to come out. It was due, sort of thing.
So, can you guys remember the original look of the dev kit PS5 rumor? The
was
V
that the
console? Like,
was it the boomerang control?
The deep V. No, it wasn't boomerang
No,
controls.
that came after.
Would you prefer the V-shaped, like, leaked dev kit, or would you prefer the current PS5?
No,
the
the current one.
V-shaped.
There was a different one that I preferred. I can't remember what it looked like now. But there was one that was a rumor, and it looked amazing, proper futuristic.
I think it might be the V-shape you're on about.
No, it definitely wasn't the V-shape. The V-shape
no.
was like a...
No. So the console itself was like a normal square
But
slash
it was
rectangle and that.
packed
But
with
the
vents.
top is like a V that sort of opened up, and in the middle, all you could see was the vents going down it, basically. So it was like it was like an open air dream, essentially.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at the one that I thought. I'm looking at the one that you're talking about. It's not the one I was thinking of.
Possibly a dust attractor though as well. Actually.
I mean, let's be honest. All consoles are dust magnets because they never include filters.
Yeah, true.
Which I'm actually getting a little annoyed with. Consoles are essentially mini PCs at this point. It's about time they started treating them like them. It's like, I want upgradability in the sense that if my console's getting hot, I want to be able to easily open it up and change like the thermal compound or change the cooler itself, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas at the moment, we're still in that heavy, no, it's a console, you touch it, you're fucked, basically.
Yeah, these little tiny fragile things that you can't go anywhere near.
Basically,
I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can show the V shape and the one that I've just linked you. The one that I linked you is the one I wanted. It's very similar to what we're actually getting.
I won't be able to. No, I've not set anything like that up yet. I was going to do it for next week for screen sharing.
I'll post it in the Discord for anyone, but that is the one that I wanted to see. That looked amazing. Yeah, but it is quite similar to what we've got.
Okay, well, I think we've rabbled about next gen more than enough, because I mean, we pretty much bring it up every week at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, we probably will be bringing it up every week until like the couple of weeks after we've got them.
It's constant news, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like constant updates, constant nightmares as well, to be fair, which is always funny to talk about. So, why don't we talk on a new entry into the gaming market?
Oh, yeah.
Amazon.
Luna.
Now, what are your thoughts on this?
I think it's what's going to happen is the same that happened to Stadia. The announcement's big, sure. I don't think it's going to go anywhere though. I think it's just going to be as big a flop as Stadia was.
Yeah,
I think it all depends on what games they get.
I mean, the problem is though, like Google did get a lot of big ticket games on it, but they broke all their release promises.
It didn't work well. That was the issue.
Yeah, it's like they broke all their release promises essentially, and it was a giant con.
Whereas if Amazon do it properly, if they have the right games, I think that they've... I mean, look at how much money that company's got. They should be able to make something actually work.
I mean, to be fair though, the same can be said for Google. Google have enough money that they should have had this working. Now, if Google can't get it working, that does pretty much leave Amazon as the big baller, I'm going to throw money at this until it works company.
But do you have a Fire Stick?
Nope.
So it's going to basically work through the Fire Stick. I've got one. If I use my PS4 or my TV itself to play, like, say, Netflix, it takes a couple of seconds to sort of load up. If I do it on the Fire Stick, it's instant.
On about Amazon, can I just say briefly before we continue? Fuck Amazon and fuck Jeff Bezos.
Right, come on, your rant, your rant. I'm not ranting this week. No, it's your rant, it's your rant.
That's it. I'm getting the shit with fuck Amazon on, and I'm going to be wearing it 24/7. Fuck Amazon and fuck Jeff Bezos. That's it. That's it.
Did you get your dog food?
No.
You did get your game, though?
I got the refunds and stuff for it. The game came the date it was supposed to come, even though they announced later dates, which is fine. But the dog food itself, like I've had to struggle a little bit with dog food for Gypsy, because obviously it was in transit. It was on the way here, and then they turned around and sent it back.
Well, they did break it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
Well,
was
I
not
mean-
the rant I was expecting. I was trying to egg
No,
you
no,
on
no.
there and everything.
No, I was never going to have a Sam rant. It was just always going to be fuck Jeff Bezos and fuck Amazon.
What about your Streamlight? Did you get that?
No,
Ooh.
no, that never arrived.
Right, hang on. How many
I had to go
times
out and buy a different stand, and this one doesn't have a light on it when it said in the fucking info that it does.
How many times have Amazon fucked you in the past couple of months? Like 2 months? How many times has Amazon fucked you?
I wouldn't be able to put a number on it, but it's too many.
I've never known
Stupid.
anybody have so much trouble with Amazon. To
It's
be fair.
like it's like they personally know me. That is the only excuse they could possibly have for not liking me.
Well, this is why you
Delivery
shouldn't
driver in the
shit
area
all
just
over on your
hates you.
delivery driver. It's like he gets your
Yeah.
package, he sees it's for you, and he's like, nah, fuck this guy. Gets his knife and just rips the bag of dog food wide open. He's like,
Yeah,
well,
oops,
can't give
gotta
it to you
send it
now. It's like, it does make me think,
also-
like, what have you done to your delivery driver?
They also don't even, on half of the deliveries that I get, they don't even knock on the door. They'll just post a fucking leaflet
No,
through
they
the
don't
door.
anymore. They don't knock
they
on mine
don't, they
either.
don't.
Like, how am I supposed to know you're at my door if you're not knocking?
The app tells you. But
Mm.
yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like you have to keep an eye on your delivery app.
Yeah.
Either that or somebody's probably going to steal your package.
Mm.
But no, I mean, with Amazon Luna, I've been burnt too many times on this cloud gaming. Like, I've got my hopes up a few times on everybody who's tried it. Nobody's done it properly. Nobody's done it in a way that works. So, honestly, I mean, if Amazon get it working, okay, bonus, I'll check it out. But I'm honestly not expecting anything
Are
from
they
them.
also going to go down the same route of like Stadia released? Google released Stadia, didn't they? But then they released it like a £250 controller.
No, so it's a £50 controller, but you don't need to use it. You can use a PS4 controller.
Okay, right.
Which, I mean, so if you've already got the Fire Stick, you've already got a PS4, all you're doing is paying for the monthly charge, right?
I
You don't
mean,
need to buy anything
that's
else.
how you were meant to do with Google, but that's not how it ended up. It's like,
How do these like Google and Amazon think they're going to be able to do better than say PCs where they've already got a massive library of games? Like,
because the way they're marketing it, or the way they were originally marketing it, is you don't need to buy the games, you can rent them, basically.
into
Not even
stream
that.
based though.
Yeah, so it's not even that. You can play it wherever you want. So
Yeah,
you don't need to carry your PC around.
So
or
it's
whatever.
like your phone, your tablet, your TV, whatever. And obviously, because you're streaming it, it's their high-end servers
Or
that are rendering it.
what kind of bandwidth are you even going to be able to need to run a steady game on these?
That's the thing.
It depends on them, yeah.
It's like, typically you would need a good internet connection to stream a game. But I mean, it's like, this brings us to PS Now, though. Because it's like, you don't have any problems with that, do you, James?
No, I think it's great. I've never had an issue whatsoever.
And every single game I play over stream on PS Now, even with my like net and that, like, I mean, I get about 250 to 300 megabyte download. And that alone,
Yeah, you get more than me.
yeah, it's like, that alone is more than enough. Like, I could download 10 games at once with that, and should still be fine, basically. But I can't stream a single game that runs smooth. Like, there's always like a good 2-second delay on any game I try stream through it. And it's like, that's not even limited to my console either. Like, I've opened my router, like, I've forwarded all ports, all that
I
sort of
think
stuff.
it's like
Still
if PlayStation can't do it properly, although with it as James has already said that he hasn't had an issue, but if PlayStation can't do it properly, how are Google? Well, they didn't, but how is Amazon going to do it properly?
I mean, they probably
Like,
aren't, to be honest.
surely there's just no future right now for stream-based games, streaming.
I mean, you can say right now, but just because it's not worked yet, one day it'll
No,
work.
no,
What
I
can kind of be now?
imagine one day it'll work, but at the
Why
moment
not now?
it doesn't feel like it
Yeah,
will.
it's not going to be anytime soon, I don't think. There's too many problems where because it's like, just look at internet over the world. Like, obviously, we're alright, we have decent internet speeds. Whereas if you look at places in America, like, a lot of Americans are actually screwed over by internet providers. It's like, they only get like 3-4 megabyte downloads. So it's like, how are they going to be able to stream games? Because I don't care what any company says. 3-4 megabyte is not enough to stream a game and play it properly.
Yeah, but you can't blame a product on someone else's internet connection. If their
No, I know,
internet
but
connection is not
what
good
I'm
enough
saying
for it.
is, game streaming is too soon.
It is. I
Yeah,
agree.
their audience is based on their players, their customers having great bandwidth.
Yeah.
It's like there's no.
Everybody doesn't necessarily have great bandwidth.
Yeah, I mean there is a market for it at the moment, but it's so small.
It's small markets.
It's like, I think if they were to use this time at the moment to sort out all the problems, and then maybe 5-10 years down the line, sure.
I think maybe less than 10 years that there might be a call for it. At the moment, it doesn't feel like there is.
I don't know. It depends on how they actually get it up and running. To me, though, I think it's VR all over again. It's a fad.
VR wasn't a fad. I like VR.
VR's still going though. There's still games.
Yeah,
being
but it's
released
nowhere
for VR.
near as massive as it once was. It's like, look at back when Oculus was first announced on Kickstarter and that, and like the first year or two, VR was blowing up. Like, it was massive. Whereas now it's like, you don't really see much mention of VR. Like, yeah, a new headset comes out every now and again. You still
It'll
get
just
some
blow
new
up
VR
again.
games, but it's like, these days, you're either into VR or you don't give a shit about it.
It'll
It's
just
like,
blow up again on the PS5 though.
I don't think it will.
You don't
I think it
it'll
will.
blow up? I think it will. I think
Have you played VR though, Sam? Apart from like at EGX or whatever,
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it a try.
you've given it a try.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I like VR. I do like VR. But I don't particularly think that's in a perfect spot either at the moment. Like, there's definitely a few problems I have with it. But more than that, I think the general interest is waning in it.
See, the best game I played in VR was it called Blood and Truth on the
True,
PS4.
Yeah, that's
That
one of the
was
best
such a
games for
good
it.
game. You could grab a vape, breathe in, and you take a drag on the vape, and then you blow out, and there's literally vapor blowing out.
I mean, that sounds more like augmented reality than VR.
It's more of the microphone that's hearing you breathe in and out, I guess, and then
Yeah.
implementing that within the game.
But I mean, with the PS4, I don't think it was the best VR. I think it was good, but the quality, like the visual quality, wasn't
The
quite
headset
there.
itself, I can't speak for you, James, but for me personally, the VR goggles themselves on the inside, the lenses, they steamed up a hell of a lot.
Yeah, that as well as it's a little bit too pixelated. I reckon in the PS5 version, you probably got a higher res screen inside there, so it'll probably look a lot better.
Will it be that much higher res, though?
I don't know. I don't know what the current Oculus Rift is or anything like that.
I think the current Oculus has had an upgrade. But again, that's like a 200 or 250 quid headset. It might be
Yeah,
even
but
more than
so
that,
was
actually.
PSVR though. That was like £300.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, that's got, like, that's official PS merchandise when you think about it. It's like, they're going to charge an arm and a leg for that. It's like Apple products, you know? It's like, you're not paying for the product. You're paying for the logo on it, essentially.
The name, yeah.
Because it's like, all companies do it. Like, it's not just Apple, it's not just Sony. Like, all companies do it. So you're paying for the little logo, essentially, not the actual product.
But I enjoy playing VR though. There was a time I was playing the Spider-Man Homecoming in VR, and I was swinging around, and I'm scared of heights. So, and I had that feeling of me being terrified in the air as Spider-Man so much that fucking knees went weak, and I fell on my coffee table.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I think
tell you
so long as they get the screens right inside of the goggles, I reckon VR will proper kick off because it's hella fun.
I think there's definitely
Depends
a
on what
bigger
game you're
market
playing.
for VR than there is Stadia or Luna.
Oh yeah,
Honestly, can I just say I want a full dive system? Neither of you two understood that reference.
no.
Okay, yeah, I imagine a fair few people watching would understand that, but essentially, it's from Sword Art Online. Think of it as a realistic VR. Like, you don't move around in real life or anything like that. It's essentially like a headset you put on and all that, and it sort of injects
sleep.
you into the game.
Yeah.
So it's like you sort of can, yeah, sort
That's
of.
quite cool.
Yeah, it's like, imagine a more high-tech version of Ready Player One, basically.
But
I mean,
that's what.
If they
That's
do
essentially-
that with something like Yu-Gi-Oh, I'd be sold.
That's essentially what Elon Musk thinks we're already living in.
A holographic alternative.
I used to like Elon Musk, but he's getting a little crazy for me now.
I'll be honest. I think it makes sense.
I mean, it
So
kinda
for
does,
anybody
but it's
that's
also
watching
pretty weird
James-
when you think about it.
For anybody that's watching, then can you explain the theory?
I can't explain it in his words or whatever, but basically, if you look at how much technology is evolving, how fast it's evolving, it's only a matter of time until you actually have like a set of VR goggles or something that you can literally go into the world and not even like you're that person inside that world and you don't even know, sort of thing.
With the way technology is advancing at such
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, essentially the Matrix. It's like you're in a virtual world and you don't even realize it, basically.
Exactly.
It
And
wouldn't surprise me.
It sounds super crazy, but when you think about it and you actually like watch the video, because he does make a lot of very good points because he knows all about that technology.
To be fair, though, it's like the same conversation was brought up when the Matrix came out. Like, Elon is definitely not the first to bring this up. He's just the most popular and the smartest to bring it up. But it's like the original. Well, when the original Matrix came out, that was a big conversation point. It's like, how do you know? Like, we're not actually plugged into a machine right now. Like, how do you know this is not simulated? So it's like, it's not the first time it's happened. And, I mean, yeah, it's possible, but is it actually true? Honestly, I mean, we have
There's no
idea.
real...
If you asked someone 20 years ago about a self-driving car, they'd say the exact same thing.
It's from the future.
And
no, they would say it's not possible. You can't have a car drive itself. That'd be stupid.
I mean...
That's the only thing. You got to think of how technology is going.
If there's self-driving cars, you're only several steps away from self-flying planes, and then if you've got self-flying planes, you're only steps away from flying cars.
You do realise planes essentially fly themselves at the moment anyway, right?
Yeah, it's called autopilot, but yeah.
You know what I mean, though, right? Eliminating the human's work.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, they're doing that pretty much here, there, and everywhere anyway. It's like, a lot of factories are automated, food shopping's automated now, warehouse picking and packing is automated. Fast. Here's the thing, though, it's like, technology's growing fast, but when you look at the places that are behind, it's like, when was the last time either of you guys were in, say, a doctor's or a hospital?
About 2 months ago.
Do you know their PCs and that typically still run Windows XP?
Yep.
Now, how dangerous is that?
For hacking, very dangerous.
Yeah.
But aren't they just primarily based for keeping files and stuff?
I mean, yes, but you also have to look at the machinery they control. They control X-ray machinery. They control medication records. I mean, everything, really. It's like, when you think about it, what's not run by a machine these days?
My legs.
I'm just trying to think of a way that I can counter that.
You can say your brain's a machine, technically.
Well, yeah. But no, it's like, what would happen to the human race if machines suddenly stopped working?
We'd be fucked.
Oh, yeah. Because it's like, when you think about it, we have farmers, but how do they farm? They use machines. Yeah. Like, all the harvests are done with machines. Like, there's too much for people to go and harvest by hand like they did 200 years ago. There'd be no medication. Because, well, I mean, you would still have some pharmacies who know how to compound the drugs. But you'd have nowhere near the bulk we have.
I think, more importantly, there'd be no Simply Complicated podcast.
Exactly. It's like, end of the world right there. End of the world right now. But no, I mean, no internet.
That's the thing. That's the scary thing, is that you got to think there was a time when we didn't have any of that, and now if we were to try go back to that, we wouldn't be able to do it.
Right. Here's the thing.
We've evolved too much.
What do you think would happen if we had no electric, no gas, no running water actually, for that matter, because that's machines.
We'd freeze when it's winter.
We've
got no heating. We've got no cooking
essentially
food.
Go back to having literally a bonfire in the living room.
Yeah.
So it's like,
no one would cope.
No one would cope. I mean, you'd have a few people who cope, like naturists and that. They'd cope just fine. But 99.9% of the human population would go crazy. Like,
there would be chaos. There would be chaos.
I mean,
I think
there's
at this
chaos
point,
no matter what happens.
If somebody just flicked off the internet, there'd be riots.
I mean, dude, people... Right,
look at the riots we got today.
Yeah, it's like, you're told to wear a mask and people are rioting. If you lose the internet,
exactly
the country is
how crazy would it be if someone just... Boop! No internet for the entire world.
Even for one day, the riots you would have for one day of no internet.
Yeah.
Honestly, I might be sort of into anarchy, but I would love to see it. Like, one day with no internet. Could you... Like, I want to see what the world would be like with no internet for a day.
I think it might potentially be a good thing if one day a year the internet gets shut down and you have to go back to normal civilization for a day. Spend time with your family, talk to friends.
The horrors.
Everyone would just spend the day in bed, mate.
Yeah, it's like everyone would spend the day in bed and then get pissed. It's like that is the thing. Like, it would basically be a holiday where you just get drunk. It's St. Patrick's Day all over again.
Yeah, go down to the pub.
Well, you can't go down to the pub these days.
Well, no, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just St. Patrick's Day all over again.
Yeah.
But it would be kind of funny, though. But it's like, it comes back to the age-old question of, like, all those people that were saying, yeah, let's just shut down the internet. It's like, oh, you can delete the internet. It's like, yeah, that's fine. It's like, go press the button, delete the internet. It's not possible anymore.
No, it's
like,
way too big.
It's not possible. You cannot get rid of the internet. You can deny access to it, but you can't get rid of it.
The only good thing that would come from it is Jeff Bezos from Amazon would lose a shitload of money.
I mean, let's be honest, like, he's probably got a safe in his, like, £10 billion mansion that's just full of gold and cash anyway.
His personal funds is about around 685 billion.
Yes, I mean, how do you spend that much money?
You don't.
Yeah,
you can't. You can't. It's been said in articles
and generations and generations.
It's been said in articles that he physically cannot spend the money that he's got.
No, it's like he could probably buy a full country.
No, he could buy a full country, I reckon.
Well, I don't know, because like
much money.
Yeah, I think it depends on the country. Like UK, I mean, what's the UK's debt at the moment? We're in the trillions, aren't we?
Yeah.
Like if he sold Amazon, he could buy the UK. But
to be fair,
just using his personal
there's probably more pressing situations in the world that he could help solve rather than just the UK's debt.
Yeah. Will he?
No.
No, it's like not even close. But it's like one thing I will point out though is his wife does actually do a lot of charity work. Like she does give a shit ton of money away for charity.
Ex-wife.
They split up.
They got divorced, and she is now the richest woman in the world.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you take half of
Imagine what you got from that. Oh, that must have hurt him hard.
Well, so typically a divorce is like 50%.
Compared to what he has, she didn't take much. I was reading about this not too long ago. It was about 68 billion that she won in the settlement.
I like how you can say, yeah, she didn't take much, just 68 billion.
No, that's a lot. That is a lot. But compared to his personal fund, he'd probably just been like,
drop in the bucket.
Whatever. Yeah.
Here's the thing, like, how long do you think it took him to get the money back that she took?
A week.
During
this pandemic, the amount of money that he's made.
God, before she was
able to cash it, he probably bought her bank.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the thing, though. It's like we know Bezos owns Amazon. What other things do you think he has a finger in? He's probably got a finger in every pie going.
Can I just say, I prefer that over Bezos, actually. Bozo. I'm going to use that from now on.
Well, no, but yeah, he's probably got stocks in like everything.
Yeah, it's like he's definitely going to be in retail. Not retail.
He's got about 4 or 5 organizations. There's one of them's to do with space. Elon Musk and a couple of other guys are supposed to be investing in a space program or something, I think.
They've already sent that off, haven't they? And it's come back.
So, yeah. I mean, well, Elon Musk sent a fucking car to space for crying out loud. It's like showing off all the aliens. Yeah, here's our mode of transport, and the aliens are just like, oh, how primitive.
Yeah, we had that back in 2001. Why am I saying 2001.
Well, no, it's like, I mean, going back to what you were saying though about the virtual world, like, do you think that's why we have no confirmed communication with extraterrestrial life? Because let's be honest, we're not the only life in the universe.
No.
Like, that is beyond self-centered to think that we're the only, like, living race in the entire universe. Because the universe is still forever expanding. So it's like...
Yeah, and you got to think, like, when they look on the other planets, they can see where water used to be and stuff like that.
You're going to make me a believer of aliens, though, son.
I mean,
if you talk about how advanced they are in the technology that they so-called have, why don't they hack us?
I mean,
They may not know that we're here, the same as we
Yeah.
don't know they're here.
it's like they could be in a different galaxy.
Although there was this theory that aliens could already be among us as human form.
Yeah, but when you say aliens, we don't necessarily mean little green figures.
Yeah,
they
no,
could be
it's
just like us. It's just
Literally
that they're
any
not us.
life from another planet. That could
Yeah.
be even a bacteria.
Yeah, which we know does exist.
Yeah. But then you've still got people saying, "Oh no, we're the only living things in the galaxy." You know, like we're the only living things in the universe. There's nothing else other than us.
Hmm.
But it's like,
There's
I
definitely
mean,
other stuff.
until they actually confirm findings, I guess, of an extraterrestrial, you kind of just have to accept that there's not at the moment, at least.
I mean, to be fair though, like we're just little men in the country, like, well, little men in the world, should I say? They could have already contacted the world, but the government's keeping it hush hush. Like,
Well, yeah, we all know how
we're not
secretive
gonna
Area
know.
51
are we?
is.
Like, we're not gonna know. Like, for all we know, the planet's been in talks with aliens for years.
Well, we all
Well,
know how
we're never
secretive
gonna find
Area
out.
51 is. Just remember what happened with Area 51.
Yeah,
or what
some
was supposed to happen.
some
It
old
was supposed
lady
to be a
got
bunch of
under the
people
barricade and
storming.
walked down the runway. Oh, that storm Area 51, it was so funny. So
There
many
was
people
these
turned
plans.
up.
There was these plans set up as well. Like, okay, all the Scots will Naruto run, and then we'll send Karens forward.
Oh, I tell you what though, that was one of the funniest things I've seen in a while, because so many people actually turned up to Area 51. And it's like, it's one of those things where, like, even the American government said, if you turn up, we can shoot you. Like,
You'll get
we
shot.
can shoot you. And it's like, so many people still turned up, and it's like, honestly, I kind of want to see if they're willing to shoot everybody to keep the secret.
It just goes to show how stupid the human race is, though.
Oh,
Or at least some
Well,
of them.
that's it. Everyone that was supposedly turning up said, "Oh, they can't kill us all. They
Yeah.
can."
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, like, yeah, you know, just get a couple of tanks out. Done. It's like, how are you going to run away from a tank? Let's be honest.
It's not like it was a secret evasion. They knew you were coming. They were
I
prepared.
mean, let's be honest. Like, they had like 6 months, and it was all over like news on TV, and they're like, yeah, we're going to storm Area 51.
If they were going to open fire on anyone who turned up, what they should have really done before they opened fire was give them a glimpse at the alien, and then open fire so they can't tell anybody else.
Could you imagine that? It's like anybody that actually went inside Area 51. It's like they grab them, they take them in, they show them the alien, and then like, yeah, okay, there really are aliens here, but I'm afraid you know too much now, so bang.
Yeah. No, just go all Men in Black.
Just throw them back
Maybe that
out
is
into the
it.
wild. Do you guys think there is like an actual unit or organization similar to the Men in Black? Not a bunch of people wearing black suits fighting aliens. Just like actually studying extraterrestrial stuff in secret.
There was a documentary I watched on it.
No,
I
I
don't
don't mean
believe
like
it.
in public.
Yeah, so there's a documentary I watched regarding that there actually are. There's certain things that happened, this, that, and the other, and there's always these guys that just turn up. They're always bald, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe it.
Always bold.
It was a very... Yeah, they're always bald. And according to the documentary, this, that, and the other...
Seems like a typical alien disguise.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, but...
It's like, were they little green men or were they little grey men?
No, they were white. They were very tall. They were bald. And they just showed all the CCTV of it and stuff. And they weren't saying that it is a thing, like that organization is real, but it was a bit of a coincidence that this would happen every time.
I tell you what,
I still don't believe in it. I
love
think
a
that
good
they've-
conspiracy
Did they
theory.
have a strange walk, like out of Mars Attacks or something? Or they just
No.
fly
Oh,
in?
Mars Attacks is a great film.
It's like, did they dissolve when they got hit by water?
No, but yeah, I don't believe a sort of organization like that is actually real. I think it's just more CIA and
Yeah.
MI5 or 6,
I tell
whichever
you
one's
what, though, a
real.
good conspiracy theory is always funny.
I do
love a
like
good
conspiracy theories.
theory.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do like talking about it.
So,
Yeah.
one thing that isn't a conspiracy theory,
Segway.
Among Us, I know, segue, perfect segue. Among Us 2 was announced and then cancelled within about 2-week period.
Yeah.
Now,
It's
to me, this is the smart choice. Among Us is definitely not a game that you can really make a sequel to, but not only that, you can't announce a sequel the week your game becomes popular, because what you're going to do when your game is no longer popular. Because let's be honest, Among Us is a fad. It's a fun game, but it's a fad. It's never going to stay anywhere near as popular as it is now.
I'm already kind of bored of it. I can take it with a grain of salt now, but
I can't play it on my own. I generally can't play it on my own. Like, I have to be with a group of people having a laugh, you know?
Yeah.
That's the
I played
only
it the
way
other night. I
play
had
it.
so much fun on my own. But
I mean, it's
we
just
don't
down
need to
the
know about that
individual.
kind of fun.
But no, I think what they thought is, listen, we've blown up. Let's make a number 2. Let's try and sort everything out that people want sorted. And then they realised, hang on, this is stupid. Why are we doing that? Why don't we
Yeah,
just
it's
fix
like
this
they
one?
haven't got
Yeah.
enough
It's called an
time.
update.
They would not have enough time to make a second game and
No,
capitalize
but
on the popularity.
I think that's what happened though. They've announced it, thinking that right, we'll make a second one because it's blown up. But then, like James has just said, they've realised that we don't need to. We can just add stuff to the current one.
I mean, I have one question though. Like, just one question. Who's the idiot that thought a sequel would have been a good idea in this situation? Because it's like,
I reckon there was probably a few of them, to be honest, but it was a stupid decision.
yeah, it's like they should have known it will not remain this popular. It's like, sure, it might still get like, say, 10k viewers on Twitch and that, but it's not going to stay at 400,000 viewers.
I'm still not
It's
entirely
not.
sure how it blew up out of nowhere because it's been around for a while.
I
So-
think
Okay.
it's still going to carry on though. I don't think it's going to die anytime soon.
I think
Because
so.
you can customize the game to make it the way you want it. You can have fun with friends it's all about how well do you know your friends? Can you tell if they're lying?
It's all about
That's a
breaking
really
up
good.
friendships.
Yeah, that as well, but it's a really good style of game that we haven't seen before.
So
And that's what everyone loves about it.
here's the thing. I don't think the idea will die. I think the idea is good.
I think the idea will be
game-
executed by somebody else in another game.
I think the game will die and a new, better game will come and take its place. For example, I mean, Among Us doesn't even have voice chat. Like, that has got to be
No.
one of the most simplest of things. Voice chat when you're alive, and then have a separate voice chat for when you're dead, basically.
All right, so this is more the second part of it of what would you like to see changed.
True.
So-
These are all the add-ons and updates and stuff that can come to the current.
I mean, have
current
they
game.
announced any updates? Like, I haven't actually seen if they've announced any of the changes
just-
coming.
They've just announced they're not doing number 2. Give them a chance to actually announce what
That's
they're
it,
going
that's
to
Well, no,
exactly
'cause I mean,
it.
I know-
You happy?
No, I know they announced that they were going to update the game with things that, like, the player base wants and that. I just wasn't aware if they have actually talked about any of the features they plan on bringing to the game.
Not that I've seen.
What
But-
on the back of that though? What would you want to see?
Honestly, just voice chat. That's all the game really needs.
That's it. No new
Yeah.
maps or anything because there's really only one map that I like on there. I
Yeah,
don't
the
like
ship.
others.
I don't
There's
like
3
it
maps
too.
though. We only played 2.
There's
3 in
I think
total.
we played all 3. I know
Really?
I've played all 3. But yeah, I only really like the ship, to be fair. But yeah, I definitely think it needs voice chat. It needs voice chat.
So when it comes to the voice chat, I think that it would be so much better if it had it, but they have to auto mute everyone when the game starts and so on and so forth.
That's why I
Yeah.
think separate servers. Either that or the voice chat is only active on the meeting.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So in the meeting and pre-game, the voice chat should be active, and then as soon as the game starts, they have to auto mute it because otherwise you're going to have so many idiots not muting it and just annoying you throughout the game.
But
Yeah.
then again though, will they even bother with adding a voice chat? Because Discord calls with games like this have become so popular anyway now.
Yeah, but you can't
gotta
automate
think of-
Discord to what happens in the game. That's the problem.
It's not even
Yeah.
that. It's more so the people that are playing on their own.
Yeah.
If you play on your own, it's just you can't have that little bit of banter.
No.
It's harder to lie when you got to fucking type it and this and that shit. You can't
Yeah.
tell. There's no like give and tell.
Yeah, it's
for
like you
what the lie
can't
is.
tell by the tone of their voice and things like that. It's like you're just reading text, basically.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't really pick up on the nooks and crannies.
So would you
But-
add anything customizable, for example, then? Rather than a couple of colours and hats?
Not
Or-
I
really.
think so, but I don't think it's needed.
Yeah,
It's
I
not needed.
generally don't
It's
care
not
about
needed.
the look of them, to be
It's-
fair.
It's not needed, no. But I
My-
think the game, I think it's not needed, but I think the game needs something to keep people. People are interested, but I think I'm just speaking for my own personal opinion. I've already kind of lost interest in the game. There's not enough about it that keeps me wanting to play.
Here's the thing, though. Do you play with a full group of people that you know?
I never play on my own. I've only ever played with the group that you set up, Sam, and another group. That's it. But
So the two things I want to say. One is I want to ask you, Sam. You said how you reckon that another game might come along and steal the thunder.
Yeah.
But the only thing you're changing this one is voice chat.
I mean,
Good point.
Why do you think that another game would steal the thunder?
So I think another game would come along with smoother, better graphical design. Because I mean, let's be honest, when you're playing the game full screen, you can really tell it was originally a mobile game that got ported over.
So
Have you
the
played
only
it on
thing that you
mobile
want
yet, by the
changed
way?
isn't the voice, then.
I mean, for Among Us, I would just make a mad voice chat, but we're not talking about Among Us right now. We're talking about a new game with the same idea.
No, I'm asking
of
you
Among
why
Us.
you think Among Us would die versus another game with the same concept.
So,
If
I mean-
the only thing you'll change is voice.
I mean, the thing is, like, some of the things I would change with Among Us couldn't happen without remaking the game. Because, as I say, I mean, there's the whole graphics issue.
I quite like the graphics for this. I think it's
I
like
think it's
Fall,
too pixelated.
Fall Guys. It's
I think
very
it's too pixelated.
its own style.
It's like
I
when,
think-
when you're
I
playing
think
it
it
full
gets away
screen on
with being
1440p, it's very pixelated.
I
And
think
it's
it's the
kind of
type of game
off-putting.
that can get away with being pixelated. Some
Yeah.
small indie, innocent, little fun game.
I don't know, I mean,
It's like modding Minecraft is pixelated.
No, I'd still like more smoothness on it, you know? Like, Minecraft might be a blocky game, but at least the blocks are smooth.
They're not, they're
Whereas,
pixelated blocks.
you know what I mean? Like, the edges are smooth and that. It's like you can see the corners and shit like that. Like, it's still a smooth game. Whereas Among Us, on at least a 1440p monitor, doesn't look like that. It looks like the old YouTube videos recorded on a potato.
No, because I've been playing it on the 1440, and to me it looks fine. I like the style. It's different. It's like a hand drawn sort of style.
Yeah, what I was going to say, one of the few good things that I do like about it is the design of it. I don't think it needs change at all. And I'm playing on a 55-inch.
Well, other than that, I mean...
It's an innocent art design that you don't really see.
Yeah, I mean, it's
on
not
many other
it's not
games.
the art I have a problem with. It's more like, as I say, just the general pixelization as the screen gets bigger. You know?
I've
Well-
not really had that issue.
I don't know, maybe
You sure you
it's
don't just
something
need
like-
another monitor, Sam?
Monitor's broke. But my second point was how much you enjoy the game is how you play it. So you decide how much fun you're going to have.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I
you
can't
can
enjoy
change
that
the
game on my own.
settings. You can change the settings to be whatever you want. Like H2O Delirious or whatever. He's been putting up some custom games which are amazing. As well as that, but when we played, for instance, there was a lot of people sticking together because they just wanted to play detective, and then they wondered why they didn't have fun, as opposed to
I mean,
trying to
be
lie
fair,
to
though,
everyone
I
and see if
thi-
you
I
can get
think
away
we
with it.
Still had a good laugh.
It's all down
that
to how
night,
you
be
play it.
fair.
The
But it's
problem
like,
is,
I
I
can
think I don't
definitely-
like it because I'm a terrible liar. So I'm just found out straight away. So that's why I don't bother trying. I'll just become the imposter and stab you in front of everybody.
But then, the
and
thing
I'll
is,
say,
though,
"It
then
wasn't
you've got to try and bluff your way out of that.
There was a time where I think there was several people on a scanner or something, and there was like 3 of them, and I jumped in the middle of them, stabbed a random person, so everybody was a suspect.
Exactly. So that's what I've been doing a lot. So when you've got a bunch of people, I shouldn't say it if we do ever play again, but because there's no animation, if you do the kill, no one knows who killed them.
No.
So everyone's blaming each other, and you're just sitting there like, You can have a lot of fun with it. It's just,
It's like
yeah, you need to
red
play it more.
sauce. Red sauce. That's all. But no,
Red's
I mean,
always sus.
I think we'd have
definitely-
to see what they do with the updates, to be fair.
How about different game modes rather than just imposter?
Yeah, they could do that for their updates.
How would a different game mode work?
I mean, I always like the concept of the idea of a hide and seek.
Technically, what imposter
It got,
is, isn't it?
it got very
Yeah.
quiet in here.
I mean, that's technically what the mode is. Like, it is technically hide and seek.
It's not hide and seek as such.
Well, no, I mean,
but
the imposter
you're
is
trying to hide from the
technically
imposter.
hiding, and the non-imposters are technically
Or
seeking
how
to find him
about
out.
the ability for the imposter to... So, do you remember Prop Hunt?
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Prop
Hunt.
hunt.
Yeah,
Prop
it's essentially
prop
you two.
hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how about the ability for the imposter to become a prop? To almost... Did any of you play Secret Neighbor? Almost like the abilities that the neighbor has on that game.
No, I didn't play that.
I wonder if maybe
You can turn yourself into like a chair or something. Someone can walk by and you can just pop out and kill them.
what about the ability to change somebody's task?
What, as an imposter?
Yeah. So
So
if
you
I'm
could
the
lure them
imposter,
to a
for
room that you
example,
To like
yeah,
sabotage.
yeah.
Because that's what sabotage is, really.
Yeah,
But
but
you-
what I mean is, like, somebody could do a task, like, say reactor. You know, like, someone does the tasks in there, no one else has a task in reactor. So everyone sort of stays out of there. Maybe change somebody's task to take them to reactor. It's like, there's no sabotage, so you haven't got everybody heading there. You've only got the one person who has had their task changed.
So that
You
could
haven't really-
work.
You
So
haven't
it's
really
sort of
got
luring
hiding
them in.
spots as an imposter either, other than event.
Yeah, but that's what makes it more fun. It's hard to do.
Yeah, and
If you
plus,
had
if,
too
someone,
many,
if
it'd be-
someone
it'd be
sees
too
you
easy.
vent, like, that's a dead giveaway.
But yeah,
Yeah, but-
changing the task could work, but you'd have to hide, because obviously you can in the custom games and stuff. You can hide the tasks so people can't see what their tasks are. Otherwise, they'll see it change and they just won't do that task.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, I guess.
So
But since we're on about developers and that, I think we should probably talk about what is probably going to be a new big giant in the developer industry. Dreamhaven. Have you guys heard of them?
yeah,
No.
it's all the developers from, is it Blizzard?
Sort
Was
of.
he Blizzard?
So basically, Activision bought Blizzard out a while ago, and I mean, everybody sort of hated what happened to Blizzard because Blizzard did used to care about their games. Once Activision bought them out, pretty much everything that came from Blizzard was a major pile of shit.
I mean, it's Activision.
Yeah. So since then, a few developers from the old Blizzard who basically don't want anything to do with Activision have sort of come together to form their own studio. And this isn't like little no-name developers or anything. These are big names that are pretty much responsible for some of Blizzard's biggest and most popular titles.
So this to me sounds like what happened between 2K and THQ. Where 2K took over the wrestling games, THQ departed, then they started to work on their own thing.
Didn't THQ shut down?
I don't know if they did. This was a while
I swear
ago. Though.
they were the ones who did Borderlands the pre-sequel. THQ Nordic.
I think so.
Yeah, because I know they shut down. That's why we didn't get any more pre-sequel expansions or DLCs.
THQ.
Yeah,
But
that was THQ.
I know they tried to do that. They tried to do their own thing as well.
Here's
Yeah,
the thing, though. It's
wasn't.
like with Dreamhaven and Blizzard, I think they have a real shot at this just going off of their past history. You know, it's like they've already got the fan base. Like Blizzard Games pretty much has one of the most deep-rooted communities there is.
Yeah,
It's
but
like
on the
you've
flip side, it's also Activision.
Yeah, but I'm on about the people who were there before Activision took over. It's
Right.
like you
Yeah,
have the
okay. So
communities
not
from
post-buyouts.
yeah, it's like you've got like the Diablo franchise, you've got the World of War, well, World of Warcraft, sorry, not World of War. You've got the StarCraft, you've got Hearthstone, all that. So it's like that's a big community.
Yeah, but it's not the whole teams, though,
no,
is it?
No. It's not the whole teams. It's not the whole teams. It's just some
No,
of the
so-
developers. It's more the
Yeah.
big names behind some of the games. So
It's the ones that left, basically.
yeah. So essentially, they left because they didn't want anything to do with Activision, basically.
Yeah.
So they've started up this Dreamhaven.
Yes.
Exactly.
So they're starting up a new game design business, basically, like a new game developer. So I think they're gonna have a good running start just because of who they are and games they've worked on in the past. People know what they can do without Activision hindering them. So I think when they put something out, it's gonna be like Kojima and Death Stranding. People are gonna buy it just because of the name, and then hopefully it's not like Kojima and Death Stranding where people realize
was about
it's
to say,
stale as
yeah.
shit.
That's just a delivery service,
Yeah.
Amazon driver.
Here's
Or
the thing,
Walker.
though. It's like, everyone goes off on Kojima and Konami and that. Metal Gear Survive is definitely had some of Kojima's touches to it. Like, Kojima was definitely working on that game at one point.
Is that the one where you got to try and survive as long as you can? I did not enjoy that one.
It's essentially... I mean, to be honest, half the systems are identical to Death Stranding anyway. That's how I know already Kojima was working on Survive. And as soon as Death Stranding was out, all the Kojima fanboys basically dropped the hate on Survive. It was like, okay, maybe he did actually work on this. Let's sort of pretend this never existed. So it's like, it's one of them things, you know? I mean, Kojima is... Well, sorry, Dreamhaven is definitely different to Kojima, though, in my opinion. Dreamhaven can probably put out some good games, whereas Kojima, he would probably be better at making movies than games. Because, to be honest,
I can
he's
see
lost
that.
his touch on games. He does good stories, but if his past
He just
games...
needs to do some more fucking MGSs, man.
I mean, come on, look what happened to MGS5. I'm sorry, but Kojima blew that. Like, people
one.
blame Konami on that, but I'm sorry. If Kojima can have 100 million to make a game and that's what he makes with it, come on.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy that one. I
Well,
never actually finished it, I don't think.
How much budget do games have? They don't have anywhere near 100 million. Konami were very, very lenient on Kojima with that. They gave him free reign for a long time, and the biggest budget they've ever gave a game. And look at what he turned out. Like, I love Kojima. I love the Metal Gear Solid games. I love the stories he puts out. But he dropped the bucket on that one.
I don't know if you can say that that's him going downhill or anything, or if it's just you've got all this money, spend it, and it's okay. What can I do with it? So let's try this, let's try that, and it just didn't work. It doesn't mean that he's lost his touch.
I mean, to be
I
fair,
think it's probably fair to say that everybody flops at some point with something.
yeah.
Everyone's got a bad game.
Yeah, the story in 5 was rubbish anyway. To be fair, like the story
1 through
was
to
a
4
mess.
were all amazing.
Yes.
So you
4
can't-
got
you
a
can
little
forgive
sauce.
one.
I mean, to be fair, 4 is sort of where he started losing people, I think. Because, I mean, 4 was nanomachines, son. It's like everything was nanomachines in 4. It's like, oh, you cured cancer? Nanomachines. Oh, you come back to life? Nanomachines. Oh, you're immortal? Nanomachines.
True, but it was still an enjoyable game.
Yeah, it
unlike
was still
5.
an enjoyable game. Like, the gameplay was definitely there. But I think me and you were looking at this through a bit of a rose-tinted glasses, though, James, because of
Yeah,
MGO2.
that's the only issue. Yeah.
Like, we're definitely looking at 4 more favourably than someone else who has only played the 4 stories. Well, 5 stories, technically. Because, I mean, we put a lot of hours into MGO. So.
Whereas I can't really have a formed opinion on it because I'm not a gearhead at all.
Yeah, you didn't even play the
Have you
story.
played any of them, or
I've played. Which one did I
5.
play, Sam? I think I played one of them. Which one did I play?
When?
I want to say I played it round yours.
I mean, I might have
A long time ago.
I might have had you try MGO.
No,
That's the
I
only
want
one
to say
can think of.
something. Was it something Snake? No,
Yeah, Solid Snake. That's
Solid
who's in-
Snake.
That's
Was that
who's
the
in
one?
Metal Gear.
no. Okay, never mind. I played one of them.
Snake
Anyway,
Eater, maybe number 3?
Possibly.
Were you right? Can you remember where you were in the game? Like what was going on or anything like that?
No,
Was it a jungle?
This was a lot. Oh, actually, yeah, I want to say it was a jungle.
Yeah, so it's
MGS3
number 3.
then. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not a gearhead. I wasn't a fan of that game, and never played any other one. So I can't really have a formed opinion on it myself.
Yeah. Surprise topic. Metal Gear Solid 1, and Metal Gear Solid 2 have come to PC on GOG.
But they're not remasters.
No, they are not the remastered version. They are the original PC versions, complete with all of their brokenness.
I'm sure they can just stick a remastered name on it and sell it for more.
Most companies are
Considering
doing that
the
now.
other games.
But yeah, so the original Metal Gear Solid 1 and Metal Gear Solid 2, so that's all 3 games. I should probably point out for those who don't know or aren't really into the franchise, Metal Gear Solid 1 is not the first game. There was Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake before it, but they were on, I believe, the Super Nintendo, the SNES. I think that was the console they were on. I know it was like an old 8-bit console anyway. But that was what they were originally on, and then we had Metal Gear Solid 1 on the PS1, MGS2, MGS3, and so on and so forth. I think that's a bit weird to me. Like, they bring MG1, but not MG2. And then they give us MGS1 and MGS2, but not MGS3. Like, I can't work that out in my head, especially the MG1 and MG2. I can't figure out why they only brought one of them.
There's got to be some sort of reason, but yeah, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to us.
I mean, I can understand MGS1 and MGS2 because they did have original PC releases back in the day. And that's the release we've got now. We basically got the old, like, 2002 disc on GOG, basically. But MG1 and MG2 was never on PC. So I can't work out why they bring one but not the other. Because like if they're going for the story route, you need MG2 in there.
I don't think it's for the story route. I think they're just trying to get the old hardcore fans, basically. I mean, I'm assuming maybe they don't have much of a fan base anymore, those ones.
I mean, to be honest, I love Metal Gear Solid. I detest MG and MG2. I absolutely hate them. Like, I like the story element to them. I hate the games. The games are terrible in my opinions. And that's coming, like, you know yourself, James, I'm a major fan of Metal Gear.
Yeah.
But no, those two games, I can't stand them. I hate them. They're so boring to me.
Well, I'm sure there's probably a lot of people that are going to be asking that during interviews and stuff, so we'll hopefully find out as to why they've skipped a couple of them, but it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
We do have some other big Metal Gear news, though.
Ooh.
Metal Gear Solid is being remade. The original Metal Gear Solid.
By who?
Konami.
Yeah, but it's not Kojima, so...
I mean, they're going to keep the same story, obviously. They're only
but it's still not Kojima.
Yeah, but I mean...
It's not a true Metal Gear.
Right, hang on. Right, hang on, no.
That's hardcore.
We're getting into this now. We're getting into this. Kojima does the story. He does not do the graphics, he does not do the gameplay. He does the story. The story's already there.
But he's not there to say, yeah, okay, cut that part.
He doesn't need to be. The game's already made. They're just remaking it in current gen.
Alright, so let's use the good example
does he not
Final Fantasy 7.
Okay.
Yeah? What was the bit that really annoyed you about that one?
The ending.
Yeah, because they changed it, right?
Not so much they changed it, they added something in that they shouldn't have
Exactly. So they could do this with this.
But
because
here's
Kojima's not there to say, no.
Here's the thing. The guy who changed the ending in the FF7 remake worked on the original FF7 as well.
Yeah, but that's irrelevant. It's a case of...
No, because you're basically saying that if Kojima's there, he's going to keep things in line. But that's not always true.
I think he would. No. That's his franchise, man. He knows.
Right. You
he
said
killed his own franchise.
You said Kojima writes the story, right?
Yeah.
Would they... I'm assuming they've gotten approval from him to go ahead with this, using his story.
Konami will own the rights.
Do they not need to?
No, Konami
they own him. Yeah.
Would it be in his story?
Don't matter, it's their game.
Okay.
Like, Konami
he would have had to have signed the contract.
Seems like there'd have to be some royalty or something.
No.
Not after the way they left off. I can't remember what happened now, but I remember it was on bad terms.
Yeah, it was on very bad terms. Then everyone took Kojima's side, and then Death Stranding released, and everyone was just sort of like,
yeah, all right, fuck him.
Let's
but then we did have that. What was that trailer? What was it called now? When you had to just walk around a house and shit
for the PT.
Yeah, PT.
PT.
Was it PT? Yeah,
that looked amazing, but that game never came out.
Yeah, I was going to say, was that horror game?
Yeah.
Yeah, that got cancelled, that did.
Yeah, because that's when he left Konami.
No, it was cancelled before that. When he left Konami, though, no, they took it off the store before he left as well.
No, because he made the trailer, and then he left, and then it was so the game's never going to come out.
That. Like, he left pretty much as soon as MGS5 released. Because, like, before the release, he was essentially locked in the building, basically.
In my memory, it was a case of, oh, this looks amazing. Oh, no, he's left? What? This is never going to come out.
No, that was... Like, PT was way before that. Way before.
You're probably right. My memory's shit, so...
That was supposed to be, like, the next big horror game as well.
Well,
it was meant to be a Silent Hill, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was it.
I just think Kojima lost his touch.
I don't.
Death Stranding.
You need to have more faith in people, my friend. Just because he's had a bad game.
He's a pessimist.
Yeah, he's had one bad game.
He's had two bad games. He's had two bad games.
Guys, Primal has never made a mistake in his life.
Do not rewind this straight to the start.
Exactly. Let's look at the start of this podcast.
But no, I mean, MGS5 was a bombshell. MGS5 was a mess. Let's just put it that way. I mean, even if you say that's partly Konami's fault, I mean, whatever. Death Stranding.
I mean, even me, I loved Metal Gear, and as soon as that one came out, I tried, what was it, the beta or whatever it was, or they had that little demo. Didn't enjoy it.
Oh, yeah, Ground Zeroes. Like, they released, essentially, I think there was like 6 or 7 missions on the disc. You could complete each one in about a minute 30, 2 minutes. They charged you, I want to say
stupid amount.
It wasn't full retail, but it was nearly
was about
full
half.
retail. No, it was
Yeah,
a
it
bit
was
more
about
than
30
it was a bit more
£30 or
than
something.
half.
But yeah, I didn't
It
enjoy
charged a
that, and then I
ton.
brought the game. Didn't enjoy that.
The story elements from Ground Zeroes was essentially Paz dying. That was essentially all that happened. And then we start MGS5 and realize we're not even playing a snake, so what just happened is completely irrelevant. So it's
But what was they doing with the online?
the online was a mess. They
Like-
So here's the thing, like they
How
allowed
successful MGO2 was. Why did they do that?
their American team to make the online.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that part.
Yes. So you had Konami Japan working on the single player story, and then they allowed the American Konami team work on the online. Well, I say Konami team, like Kojima Productions team and that, which is technically owned by Konami back then. They allowed the American side to work on the online. So MGO basically got codified in the worst way possible. We ended up with essentially what is Uncharted multiplayer in Metal Gear Solid, which just doesn't work if you ask me.
Yeah, I played Uncharted multiplayer. That was not good.
Now, if they kept it as an updated MGO2, dude, I'd still be playing that right now.
Wasn't it more like that? What was that other MGO game?
Over MGO.
Can't remember its name.
I mean, there's only... Well, there's Metal Gear Online 1, which was the online portion of Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yeah.
There's Metal Gear Online 2, which is obviously MGS4. There's Metal Gear Portable Ops, which had online. And there's
That one.
Portable Ops
It was more
Plus.
like that, wasn't it?
There is one more as well.
But it was more like that the way they did number 5, because you had like the parachutes and stuff.
No, it wasn't like Portable Ops. It was like the other one. Shit, what's its
It's been
name?
so long we can't remember the names.
It's on the HD collection. Peace Walker.
That's
It's
the
like
one, Peace Walker. Yeah.
It's like Peace Walker Online, which is sort of like Portable Ops actually. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, but they shouldn't have done that.
No,
They had so much potential. MGO2, I would pay £200 for just to go and play that game again.
Well, I'll tell you what, then go buy another PS3 and a copy of the disc and you can play it.
Yeah, but that's not the actual game. That's a. Yeah,
I mean,
I want
it's
them to
still
just bring
the
those
online.
servers
Like,
back.
They have brought the servers back. Well,
Yeah, but
Konami
there's not many
has.
people playing or anything. I
think
want
there's
it
about
properly the way it
200-300.
was.
I don't think it'll ever be that popular again.
No, that's what I'm saying. I paid a lot of money for it.
It's definitely a shame though, because it was one of those games you could sit and play for 10 hours straight and not get bored.
Yeah.
Like you could sit there playing it for a very, very long time. We should probably talk about something else that's going on with Japan though. And, so, does anyone here want to play the PS5? It's like,
Yeah.
of course we
Nah.
don't, do we? Like, we'd never want to play the PS5.
I mean,
Don't
that's like
shoot.
asking, are you human?
Um,
Or are we dancers?
So, we'll just leave him to go off on his own there. There are Japanese Japanese YouTubers allowed to go and get hands on with the PS5.
Yeah.
And all I can say to this is, where's my invite, Sony?
You're not
Are you Japanese?
Japanese?
I mean, he's close.
There's a
He
Sony
is
in
close.
London.
He
There's a
is
Sony
close.
headquarters in London. Like, I'll jump on a train. I'll drive down there. You know. Like, why is it only
They're
I'll walk there,
always
don't worry
there.
about it.
They're always going to let it be tested in Japan, though. That was
Yeah,
always
no,
going to
no,
happen.
no. This isn't a test. This is like a straight-on, hands-on.
Yeah. Like, here's the PlayStation 5. Go play it. Do whatever you want. with it.
It's like go make some
Test it.
videos. No,
Testing it
not,
out,
no,
playing
no, no,
it,
no, no,
probably asking them for reviews back on what they thought.
No. It's going to be like
They're allowed to
EGX.
make videos on it.
It's going to be like EGX. Basically, they
Yeah.
go down, they play it, they have a blast. They don't have to do anything else. They
Yeah,
basically
I get that.
just go down
I
and
get
play
that,
it.
but surely the purpose would be for the
No,
feedback.
no.
Allow them to
It's
make the
not-
videos
no,
and stuff.
No.
but-
It's not anything like that. It's basically just a case of, hey, you make YouTube videos, come play our console.
Oh,
So it's going to be both. They're going to be wanting to hear the feedback so as that they can,
I mean,
do
yeah,
any
they're going
sort
to
of
take a
improvement.
little bit of feedback.
But also, they're getting free advertisement by these
It's
guys putting it
exposure.
onto their YouTube. Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, that's the
It's
main
not-
thing, I think. They just want the
it's not-
content created for it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not just going to be Japanese. So they're starting with Japan. Eventually, they
mean-
will move over to. Well, I say eventually. It's not very long away until
No,
release.
that's what I
but-
mean. It's like this close to release. Are
Yeah,
they
but-
going to do other countries?
Apparently, according to the articles, but I
Fingers
don't
crossed, Sam.
think.
I mean, I'm nowhere near big enough. Let's be
I
honest.
don't
It's
think-
going to be 5 mil plus subs easy to get invited by Sony for this.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like you're going to have.
But it would be good to see the videos. I want to see whether or not they're going to show the dashboard, if they're going to
Probably
show
not.
certain games.
They'll show some of the games. I think they'll probably show off Ratchet and Clank. Because, I mean, let's be honest, Sony have been showing that off quite a lot in all of their events.
I really do want to see some gameplay of that. Proper gameplay.
Are we going to see
They'll-
some Call of Duty PS5?
Probably. And I think they're probably going to show some Godfall.
I want to see that as well, actually.
That's kind of all I'm expecting them to show, though. I don't think they're going to show much more than that. Maybe some Little Big Planet. Or Sackboy Adventure, as it's called now, or whatever.
Yeah, it's a spin-off from Little Big Planet, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's a PlayStation exclusive that they think is very popular, but
I mean, let's be
I'm a
honest, Little
fan,
Big
I'm a
Planet was
fan.
popular. Little Big Planet was really popular at one point. So, for them to bring it back, maybe?
I was a fan of the game. To some extent, I still like it. I don't think it needs to be brought back. I don't think they need a spin-off.
No.
I think they could have left it alone. Because it was fine the way it was.
I mean,
Surely,
thing
by,
I wanted
by
to
doing
get-
a spin-off, you just open yourself to failing.
I mean, the way it was dead. No one really plays it anymore. So, I mean, bringing it back...
Yeah, so there
could
was
be a
no
hope.
real call for it.
Well, I mean, yeah, because bringing it back brings it back to people's memory. Because I don't know about you guys, when I saw that during the event and that, I was like, oh shit, yeah, Little Big Planet, I forgot all about that.
I've
Actually,
literally got like 2 of the games sitting behind me, and
Actually,
I still
yeah.
forgot about the damn game.
nostalgia sales.
Yeah. It's like, I'd completely forgot it ever even existed. But as soon as I saw that trailer, I was like, oh shit. Like,
But I expect that-
completely forgot.
Is that supposed to be a release game?
Yes, I think so.
I expect that to be bundled with the PS5.
More than likely, because that's what happened with the
It
PS4.
was with the
wasn't it?
PS3, and it was with the PS4.
Well, no, I mean, we'll have to wait and see what they do on that. Like, we
Either
don't...
that or bundled with a Little Big Planet upgrade.
in fairness, we don't know what's going on with a lot of the games. Like, the game situation has been a complete clusterfuck. Because, I mean, it's like... I was saying this...
It's a weird year for games at the moment.
Well, I was saying this to you earlier one time, just before you got on, James. I've been going around making, like, a sheet for all the games that I'm going to get with the release dates on. Because I'm constantly losing track of when shit's coming out, basically. So I'm just going to make a list, print it out, stick it there, you know? Always look at it then whenever I want to.
Yeah.
I started off looking on the PlayStation Store. Made a couple of, like, I took a couple of games off there for the list. And I was like, hang on, no, there's definitely some games missing here. So I went to Shop 2, a really, really big, like, game seller in the UK. I got a few more titles from there, added them to the list, and I was like, there's got to be more than this. I went to game.co.uk, found even more titles to add to the list, and I'm just like, I've looked at 3 different places now, one of them being the PlayStation Store itself, and they've all got different games. Like, what?
I mean, that just continues on with the complete shitstorm of the release. It's
That is all
It's
that can be
like-
said. Like, what do you even say?
How can the PlayStation Store itself not have all the games?
That makes the least sense.
I mean, there's possibilities that some of the games aren't going to be digital only, or well, digital games. But
So, here's the thing. Atelier Ryza 2. We've had the trailer drop for that. We know for a fact it's coming on PS4 and PS5, right? And we know it's coming this year. Well, this winter, which technically does also go into the start of next year. So, either way, that's PS4, PS5. It's been announced for quite a while. It's just we only recently found out at TGS what consoles it was going to be on in there. There's nothing for it on the PS Store. There's nothing for it on Game. There's nothing for it on Shop 2. Can't find anything about it anywhere. It's like this game is basically just going to come out one day and you can't pre-order it. You just have to buy it when it comes out.
I'm surprised with Shop 2 because they even started pre-orders the second PS5 was even announced at 1p.
That was only registering your interest. That wasn't pre-orders. They do specify.
Well, they could. They noticed, or they put it as pre-order, but then obviously it said it afterwards.
They do specify on the website. This is only to register your interest in the pre-order.
Yeah.
This is not an actual pre-order.
Which it says after you click on the pre-order.
AKA, they will email you when pre-orders go live.
Yeah, but if they're doing that, why are they not doing that for the games?
Pretty much.
Because that's a little bit confusing.
Well, I looked at the PS5 games, and there was 5 games on all the websites. Only 5 games. There was Ratchet and Clank. There was Godfall. Call of Duty. What were the other two? I can't remember what the other 2 were. Either way,
Cyberpunk, Assassin's Creed.
Cyberpunk was on there. Assassin's Creed wasn't.
That has to be on there. That's on everything.
That wasn't on there. That wasn't on there. That's what I mean. It's like, we know there's at least like 10, 15 games coming to the console. But they're only showing off like 4 or 5. It's like, what?
Do you reckon it's maybe featured ones that they're specifically trying to show off these 4 or 5?
I've no idea. Honestly, at this point, I have no idea. It could be, or it could just be problem number 10 million in this clusterfuck of a release.
Going on that though, have you noticed how a lot, like pretty much every website that I go on, Amazon, Game, a lot of them, they've all got Xbox at the top. There's nothing about PS5.
No.
What do you mean?
So if you go onto game.co.uk, if you go onto amazon.co.uk, you might see something about an Xbox, but you won't see anything about PS5. You have to scroll right the way down to the bottom.
I mean, when I went on Game earlier, PS5 was at the top. Because that's how I got to.
No, it wasn't.
So
I guarantee you. I guarantee you.
I clicked the banner to take me to the PS5 games.
All I ever see on there is the Xbox.
Could that be to do with
Maybe
the
it's
successful
based on
pre-orders of the Xbox over Sony's car crash?
I don't know. I think it might
That's
just
what
be
I think
based
it is.
on
I think it's because of their
cookies and
fuck up.
search
They're
history.
trying to sort of hide it.
I don't know. I think it's based on your search history and cookies. Maybe it finds that you've been looking at Xbox stuff, so it detects that and gives you an Xbox banner. If you've been
What
looking
makes
at
you think I've looked
stuff.
at Xbox stuff?
For the podcast.
Yeah, but I've done it on my PC, I've done it on the MacBook, I've done it at work. It's always the Xbox banner at the top, and then games, but nothing about PS5.
I've
I have to scroll down to the bottom.
I have no idea then, but I generally had a PS5 banner earlier because that's how I got to the games. And that was about 5 hours ago now. 5-6 hours ago when I was doing the list. So
fair enough. If it is different, then fair enough. But I thought that was a bit
maybe they're
interesting
just
to
in the
me.
process of changing it. Or maybe it's like an auto change every now and again.
Or it could be because is the S still in stock?
Couldn't they simply just be paid ads?
That's what I was thinking at first, but yeah. I don't know if it's because maybe the S is in stock, so people can still
Here's
buy
the
those.
thing. The S is in stock everywhere, and I can't help but laugh at this. It's like, you've got the Series X sold out. You've got the PS5 sold out. You've got the discless PS5 sold out. You've got the Xbox S. Everywhere still has stock of it.
Yeah, because that's basically an Xbox One.
Yeah, it's like nobody is buying the S. This is just showing how clueless Microsoft were in actually making this console.
It will sell, though, for people who can't get the X.
Yeah, of course.
I've been agreeing with that, but seeing that it's still in stock, I don't think it's going to sell anywhere near as much.
But that's because everyone's still hoping that they'll get hold of the better one. But I would expect that closer to the launch, when they realise they can't get it, they'll get the S, they'll play some games, then they'll sell the S pretty much for full price to get their money back. I would do that.
I don't know. I think the S is still always going to have stock. I don't think it's going to sell that well. People are starting to realise that it is literally just a current gen console with a new name, basically. It's like the hardware in it, so there's no point in buying it. It's just current gen.
It all depends, Sam. What's going to happen at Christmas when the parents go to the shop? Tell me.
Meme alert.
So this is actually sort of in reference to...
This was brilliant.
This was in reference to a post that somebody made in the Discord meme section. Merc made this post.
Thank you, Merc.
I know that this made me laugh. So, you go into the shop, you want to buy an Xbox. So you say to the clerk, I want to buy the Xbox. You know, simple question. So, the guy at the shop will turn around and ask you, okay, what Xbox do you want? Do you want the Xbox One, the Xbox One S, the Xbox One X, Xbox Series S, or the Xbox Series X? And it's like, the parent is going to be clueless. They're just going to look at you like you've just said the same thing twice.
The thing is, though, this just backs up why so many people, when they thought they were pre-ordering the next gen, they
bought
ordered
Xbox One X.
That, yeah.
Oh, but yeah,
the huge sales that they got.
Yeah,
the current
did you
gen.
see how
the sale rank shot up like 740% or something?
Yeah, it's like it moved from about 3,000 in the sales rank to I think it was double digits. It was hilarious.
When will they learn? They had the confusion from the Xbox One. How are they still doing this?
I don't know. I mean, this is like people bitch about Sony naming the PlayStation like, yeah, it's PS1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever.
Who bitches about that? That makes sense.
Yeah, it's like you are not going to lose track of what console you're getting.
You don't see people trying to pre-order a PS5 and ending up with a PlayStation 4.
Yeah. Whereas it's like, okay, you've got the Xbox One X and you've got the Xbox Series X.
Yeah, and then you got the Xbox One S and the Xbox Series S.
Yeah, it's like so gamers themselves who are in the know-how are going
Wasn't
to know
it supposed
the
to be
difference.
next gen that they were supposed to be calling Project Scarlet, or was that supposed to be the Xbox One?
Project
that's
Scarlet was
That's their dev name sort of thing. While they're making it
so
the secret name.
That's what they basically call it internally to stop leaks. So
Yeah.
rather than saying the Xbox Series
Okay.
X, they refer to it as Scarlet.
Yeah, because otherwise they'd mix up the fucking names.
But no, I mean, it's definitely... How many fuck-ups are we going to see at Christmas? How
many Xbox One X's and Xbox One S's are we going to see in family homes?
Okay, I've got an even better question. What's going to sell more? The
Xbox
Series or
Xbox
the
One.
actual? Yeah, I think so as well. I think people are going to go in to buy the new console, and they're going to get shafted by the staff to sell the old stock of old consoles.
And then they buy a PS5.
And from my experience, I can tell you, those parents are going to come back in the shop and they're going to say, "You ruined my son's Christmas."
Yep. All because they were clueless.
You asked for an Xbox. We asked you which one. This is the one you said. But it's all your fault.
Yep. Here's the thing, though. It's like, you are going to get the couple of staff members that are going to be honest and say, is it the new one you want or the old one? You are going to get a few staff members.
You would think, to be fair, you would think, though, the assistant in whatever shop
See, this was about
would
to say.
help them out and be like, okay,
No.
this is...
No.
No.
That
The
is
new
not
You
how
want the
retail
sales.
works.
That's the issue. If you can trick them because you don't have any of the new one in stock, then yeah, here you go. Take
Yeah,
this
but
one.
they're selling a current gen for less money than they can sell a next gen.
But they don't have the next gen in
don't
stock.
It's like...
So you think if they don't have the next gen in stock, they'll sell a current gen as,
easy.
okay, this is
Yeah.
one...
Because
100%.
they have targets they have to meet. This is one of the worst things about working in retail.
True,
You
but
have
false
targets.
advertisement will come under that.
But it's not. It's not.
No, because they're
no,
advertising
no,
a
no,
current
no, no,
gen.
no,
as
no,
next
no, no, no,
gen
no,
to
no,
this
no,
not.
one.
Right, they're not advertising anything. A customer goes in and they say, I want an Xbox.
Yeah, my son wants an
Okay,
Xbox.
Here you go. Here's an Xbox. They don't say which Xbox they want, and you don't say which Xbox you're giving them.
Yeah.
You could give them the old original fat Xbox from 20 years ago, and you've still given them an Xbox.
Oh my god, imagine if that Xbox shot up in sales.
I mean, it's true that you've
Well,
still given them an
technically the Xbox
Xbox. Yeah.
Technically, yeah.
It's like, Microsoft... Who is making these names at Microsoft, and how much are they paying him? Because I'll work for half the price and give them better names.
That's just completely lazy. So you bring out the first Xbox, right? We're going to bring out the second gen. So let's call it Xbox One. What? All right. So you bring out the next one. Let's call it the same name as the previous one. Like, is anyone even naming these?
Here's the thing, though. It's like, they went from Xbox to Xbox 360. So they jumped up by 360
Oh yeah, sorry, I missed the
points
360.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they decided to go back to Xbox One, and we're like, okay, you've already had an Xbox, which is technically number one. Then you got to 360. but
Which
then
is
you go
technically number two.
Back down to Xbox One, which should be the third console. And now you're sort of giving up numbers, and you're going to letters.
Which you've already had in the previous generation.
Yeah, it's like, come on, Microsoft, what are you doing?
At least have Y and Z or something.
Yeah, something different.
It's not even like they're doing it Roman numeral style either.
No.
Otherwise, the Xbox One X would be like 9. Xbox 9.
Yeah. I mean, do you think it's just a marketing ploy to try and sell more of the older consoles as well as the new consoles? Like, those who are
Possibly.
clued up are going to buy the new consoles.
Possibly,
who
but
aren't
Xbox
as
did
clued
address
up?
it though. Xbox did address it. I think they did. No, actually, I think they got trolled by someone on Twitter.
I mean, here's the thing though. This is literally like just days after they take shots at Sony for the pre-ordering mess.
I know Xbox posted on Twitter, or tweeted rather, the sale rank increase.
Yeah.
And I saw somebody share it saying how many of you ended up with the Xbox One when you thought you were pre-ordering the Series X. I wish I was a fly on the wall in the homes of the people that this was
When
happening
they
to.
realise it. Like, when they realise
I do
it,
wonder
like, the
if,
next day
if
when
they were
the
in
one comes.
if they were in a meeting and they did actually discuss that. Like, could we fool people into actually buying these?
I mean, it's a company, so they probably would have done. Like, I wouldn't put it past them.
Because you got to think, like, to have literally such similar names, that's not by accident.
No, it can't be by accident. There's no way. There's no way somebody wouldn't have said. I mean, these sound too similar. Like, shouldn't we have a different name so people can tell them apart?
And then someone says more money.
Yeah, and then they probably said, okay, we'll put the word series in there to separate it.
Well, no, I mean, I definitely think it was intentional, to say the least, for sure. Like, there's no way it can't be. No way. Because it's like, as you said, Microsoft is still getting the money. They don't care. They're selling old shit, and they're probably still going to sell new consoles anyway.
But you got to think there'd be, if not already, backlash for this from consumers.
I think there is. It's like,
So that would have to be acknowledged at some point by Xbox.
I'm literally waiting for Sony's shot back at Xbox over this. Because it's like, Microsoft did the shot at Sony about the pre-orders.
I'm waiting for the
so-
advert where they're holding up a PlayStation 4 and a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, and it's like, right, do you want to pre-order the PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation 5? It's like, if you go into any store and ask for the PlayStation, they'll ask if you want the 4 or the 5. Go with the bigger number. It's the newer one. Whereas if Microsoft did it, it was like, okay, do you want the Xbox One X or do you want the Xbox Series X? It's like, they both got X in. One word is different, but it's up to you to try and figure out which one you want.
I don't think they'll do that. Do you remember the PS4 release when they was making all those fucking
Yeah, they
piss takes?
shit
Like with
on
the
Microsoft.
yeah, with the what was it? The you had to play online thing.
Yeah, the always online.
That was the
DRM
biggest
and
one.
that.
Yeah, that was the biggest troll they ever did. I don't think they'll do that again. As much as it worked and it was hilarious, the console
know, I
wars
mean-
aren't there anymore.
Thing is, though, it's
No.
like Sony aren't really taking shots, but Microsoft are still.
Yeah, Microsoft
Yeah.
have been really snidey about the way
So-
they're doing
I've
things.
been surprised by him.
Do you think that sooner or later Sony's just going to turn around and say, okay, you know what? Enough is enough. Let's get down and dirty. It's like, I'll come down
I
to
hope
your
so.
level, Microsoft.
I hope so.
I
I'm not
hope so as well,
interested
'cause
in
it's going to be
console
so
wars.
funny.
I'm not interested in console wars whatsoever. But I would like Sony to respond to all this.
Yeah,
all this
it's
heat.
like console wars are, yeah, like you said, console wars or whatever. I'm not on about this for the sake of a console war. I'm on about this
No,
just
no.
for the back and forth. Like, it's going to be funny.
Yeah. And you know there'll be memes and stuff about it.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, let's be honest. People are already memeing them.
True.
But you know one thing that Xbox would just turn around and say, right?
Go on.
Go on.
Bethesda.
Shit.
I don't know why that.
Let's
Well,
just
I don't
talk about
care.
that, shall we?
I don't care. Like, okay, so
Okay,
you get Elder
you don't
Scrolls.
care, but here's the thing. A lot of people do. This is some big
get that.
games. So, Bethesda do Elder Scrolls and Fallout. I mean, those are the two big ones for sure.
Evil Within as well, which I recently played.
But it's like, Microsoft acquiring Bethesda is a big blow to Sony.
What it will be good for is Game Pass. Because you would imagine that...
That's what I was about to say. They've already announced they're going to put them all on Game Pass.
Yeah. Doom as well, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, because, so here's the thing though. Will Sony ever get a new Elder Scrolls?
They will, because
I don't
Microsoft
think so.
still need to make
no,
money.
I don't
They'll
think
get
so.
sales.
They've already said that they're going to let Bethesda to do their own thing.
Well,
So-
They didn't quite say that.
technically in this, they
Not
said
in
they're
so
going
many
to...
words. Can't remember the exact
So
thing.
on
it was
the
said, but-
games, they basically said we're going to decide on a like case-by-case basis per game for if it's going to go multi-platform or if it's going to remain exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Which we
can't
know
see
none of
them...
them will be exclusive.
I think they
can't-
will be. Because let's be honest,
can't
that is
see them
Microsoft's
making-
biggest shortfall at the moment, exclusivity games.
Yeah, I can see them making a lot of them exclusive. I can't see them making every single one.
No, they won't make them exclusive. They'll just stop any exclusives to PS5.
I mean,
Oh,
they
yeah.
were never exclusive to PS5 to begin with. I mean, to PlayStation to begin with.
So we've got two that are coming.
I think they'll do timed exclusivity.
Yeah.
Like new Elder Scrolls, new Fallout games, I reckon 1-2 years on Xbox first, and then they'll bump it over to PlayStation.
Oh no, it won't be that long.
I mean, at least a year. They'll do it at least a year for sure.
The thing is, though, is he? Let's say they are doing that for exclusive. Is that really a big hit at like Sony, at PlayStation players? The exclusives that we play over on PlayStation isn't exactly a comparison to the stuff like Fallout.
Dude, Fallout is one of the biggest game franchises there is.
I get that. I do get that. But the ones we're already playing as PlayStation exclusives are already awesome. What like Fallout or Doom or anything isn't going to shake us. I say us, like PlayStation players.
I mean, it might. Like
Doom definitely could.
Generally,
that's
don't
so
know,
good
like,
and especially if it's not even a pure exclusive as well. If it's timed and then eventually coming to Sony, to PlayStation.
But will they announce it's coming to another console first? Because they don't have to. Like they don't have to say it's timed exclusive. It'll come to other consoles later. They could just say you can get it now on Xbox Series X.
No, yeah, they don't have to. But if Sony have piqued an interest on bringing it to a console and had confirmation, they can announce that it's also going to be available on PlayStation.
It depends on the contract,
It depends on the contract. But thing is, it's like Doom, Elder Scrolls, Fallout. These are all big game titles that honestly would move consoles. Like there are people who go out there, they buy a console specifically for Final Fantasy. You know, it's like I know a lot of people who bought a PS4 just for Final Fantasy 15. And then Square brought it out on PC as well after. So, unlucky for those who bought a PS4 just for that. You've got God of War, people buying consoles just for that. You've got people buying consoles just for Last of Us. It's like, buying a console just for a specific game is not unheard of. And it's actually more common than you might think. But with these 3 big series...
the players of those franchises, I think, will move over.
Yeah. Microsoft is definitely going to keep these exclusive, I think.
They won't necessarily move over, but they will at least buy their console, and that's the key thing they want them to do.
Mm-hmm. Because they'll earn more money from the console sales than they would from just the game sales on Sony.
Even if it plays better on PS5, they will still move over to that, and then once it's out on PS5, they'll buy it again, and therefore more money for Microsoft.
This deal with Microsoft and Bethesda, is this going to benefit current gen, or is it a next gen thing?
I mean, it would benefit both, really. But
I mean, I'd say more next gen than past gen. Like, Game Pass is going to get a benefit for this gen. But things already out, yeah, it's not going to be that big of an issue, to be fair. It's more what's coming, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely not an issue for what we currently have. But no, I think... I generally think they're going to keep it. They're going to keep it exclusive. I don't see them letting Sony have any of these titles anymore.
No, they will. You got to think of it in a business perspective.
Not on release. I think...
I
think best case scenario is timed exclusivity. I can't see them doing better than that. Like, it's not going to be worldwide, all platforms.
But
they're going to keep
for the timed exclusivity, I don't think it's going to be a year's long or whatever. Maybe a month, maybe 2 months.
Oh, no, it's going to be way longer than that.
I don't think it's going to be a year.
They're not going to sell consoles.
They're shunting themselves too much.
Nah, if it's only a month wait, they aren't going to sell consoles. I think 6 months to a year, easy. Like that, they need that.
If they turn around and said the new Call of Duty will be out on Xbox for 2 months before it's on PS5, would you go buy an Xbox?
For COD, no.
This COD?
No.
All right, for Final Fantasy.
I mean, that's slightly different because, like, obviously,
a game that you like.
Videos.
Let's just say that.
I would love to see that, though.
These games have got a lot of hardcore fans. You won't buy it.
Sam is a PlayStation guy through and through, so I would love to see a world where Final Fantasy becomes exclusive to Xbox to see if he would go out and buy an Xbox.
I'm buying an Xbox this gen.
And you buying the Xbox? Have you ever had an Xbox?
I've had every Xbox apart from the Xbox One.
When you say Xbox One, do you mean the first one or the Xbox
One? I mean the last one. But no, I used to play COD with you on the Xbox 360.
Oh shit! No, yeah, you did. Yeah,
Yeah, see.
I remember. My bad.
But yeah, the
Um,
hardcore fans will go buy that console just so that they can play it on day one.
But yeah,
Or the
like,
YouTubers.
like you were saying, it depends on how long. If it's a game that I want to make videos on, then I don't care if it's a week apart. I have to get the console to make the content. Because a week is...
I was going to say, James just said YouTubers. That's where the change will be.
But if
For
it's just
YouTubers,
if it's
for
just a
content.
game I wanted to play, like say I wasn't going to make any videos at all on it, and I just wanted to play it. If it's 2 or 3 months, I'm just gonna wait. If it's 6 months, I would consider buying a console for it, but like that's only about maybe a 30 or 40% chance of me actually buying a console. If it's over a year, then I would probably buy a console for it.
See, I think it's a big play for them. I want to see Sony do something like this.
I was going to ask, do you reckon Sony are going to buy...
have. They bought Insomniac.
Yeah, but it's not new, is it?
Yeah, I mean, there's
It's
better
not
things.
new.
They can
It's
buy,
not
but...
new. I don't know. I mean, Insomniac makes some of Sony's best first parties.
Yeah, already.
Yeah, but what I mean is,
So-
like, buying them, they pretty much locked them to the Sony platform. Because that's the entire reason they bought Insomniac. They just didn't want anything else going to Xbox.
Insomniac still make games for Xbox though.
No, they don't know anymore.
Well, not at all.
Not at all.
Okay.
They are Sony
But-
exclusives now.
The biggest
way,
one,
I
I think,
think
are the Spider-Man games, aren't they, for PlayStation?
No,
Is
Ratchet
that
and Clank.
Insomniac? That's Activision, isn't it?
No.
No, I swear the last one was Insomniac.
Insomniac. Spider-Man is Insomniac.
It
Yeah.
used to be Activision.
Back on the PS1 and PS2, I think. But I think since then, they've always been Insomniac.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Um,
But yeah, I want to see Sony try and do some big plays like this again.
What
I
if
mean,
Sony
who would they
bought
buy,
Square
though?
Enix?
Who would they buy? Like, who's
What if,
left?
they bought, what if they bought Square Enix?
Wouldn't tell.
It's a big name. It's a big name in-
Square
in
Enix
there.
is too big. They wouldn't. They
Yeah,
wouldn't be
that
able
is
to
too big.
afford Square
That's like
Enix.
saying buy Activision or something. I think that's a bit much for them.
Plus, Square
Yeah.
isn't just based on games. Like, the majority is games, but they do have interest in other areas as well. Similar to Konami and Pachinko.
Yeah.
You have no idea what that is, do you?
I know Konami.
Wait, you don't know either, James?
I don't know Pachinko.
Like arcade machines, like, you know how gambling is illegal in Japan? They get around this by basically having like, you know, like 2p machines where you put the 2p's in, drop down, knock other 2p's off. They sort of do that, but they use like little steel balls. And because, again, gambling is illegal in Japan, they basically allow you to trade in these balls for prizes, like a big TV or something like that. And typically, right next door to the pachinko parlor, there's like a second-hand shop that you can sell these prizes. So they get around the gambling law like that.
That is genius.
But yeah, that's one of Konami's big businesses, pachinko. And I think Square also have a couple of machines.
So
like that.
who do you think that PlayStation could realistically buy to compete
I
against
don't
this whole
think there's anyone
Microsoft
left.
Bethesda?
I don't think there's.
You don't think there's anyone left?
Not really.
I mean, there are
there's-
companies they can buy. I just don't know if they're worth it.
It's like you've got small companies.
You've
which
also got the
aren't
fact
really
that
worth it.
will Sony even feel like they need to buy? Like
At the moment, yes.
No,
I would be worried if I was them.
I think Sony have got enough. Like they've got all the big titles already.
if anything,
like-
I thought the purchase from Microsoft was a desperate move because they know they need exclusives.
That's
Yeah, but it
I would
worked.
agree with
Got
that.
people
Of
talking
course
and
it
worrying.
worked. Of course it worked. Yeah.
Well, no,
Well,
I don't think there's anything left for them to buy. It's like you can't
What
buy
about you,
anything
James?
too big, but there's also no point in buying anything small.
What
And
about
all
you,
the-
James? Do you reckon they'll buy somebody, and if so, who?
I don't think they would because it's not worth the money it would cost.
Hmm.
But I would love to see them do it.
Who
Just
would
to-
you like to see them buy?
I mean, if I could choose and money was no option, Activision.
Yeah.
But that would not be worth the money.
No, Activision is way too large.
Yeah.
It's like that is a deal that would bankrupt Sony.
If they brought that though, they would be. Xbox could just
yeah,
go
it's like-
disappear from now on.
If Sony
But
bought
the money it would
Activision,
cost.
COD would become a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah.
That would not.
Well, I mean,
kill
you
the
also
Xbox,
have
but
you
it
also
would
have
put a big nail
Treyarch
in
though
the
as well,
coffin.
don't you?
Yeah, but
Yeah, but they're
Activision
owned
owned
by
Treyarch.
Activision.
Yeah. Do they also own? Is it Infinity Ward as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
they own both?
every company that makes card is owned by
So
Activision.
Exactly.
if they bought Activision, they would then in turn get
Yes.
Treyarch and
Exactly.
Infinity Ward.
Yeah.
And we've
That
already
would
got
be-
the times exclusive for that stuff, so we don't really need to. But it would be nice to just be able to turn around and say, right, we own Activision, so therefore panic Xbox.
Is there
if you will.
somebody small enough, Sam, who you think would be left for them to purchase? The only other one I can think of is Naughty Dog.
That's not worth it.
No,
Dude, Naughty Dog?
We already have
Crash
like
Bandicoot.
Uncharted is mainly on
Jack
us.
and Dexter.
actually, he's got a point.
Uncharted.
He's got a point.
Yeah, but
hang on,
Uncharted
hang
is
on.
already mainly us anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, you've got like Jack and Dexter, Crash Bandicoot.
Crash has only just come again. It's been how many years? Just because we've now got a new one.
No,
No,
but
no,
I'm,
it
just,
doesn't
I'm
really
just listing
count.
the games they've made that are popular. Like the popular
Yeah.
series they
Are
own.
you on about the Crash Bandicoots? It's about time.
Yeah, the number
I'm
4.
on about Crash in
They
general.
brought 3 out not too long ago.
No, they
the,
brought the
um,
remaster out.
Yeah, it was a remaster.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
'cause
No,
Crash
it
was
wasn't.
on, like,
It was-
PS1
it
as
was-
well.
yeah, it was an actual remaster trilogy, I think. Once it's
Yeah.
Crash
yeah,
1,
never
2, and
mind.
3.
Hence why this one's called About Time.
Yeah, that's because
Yeah,
4
as in,
was
it's
never gonna
about
happen.
time.
Yeah, as in, we've waited this long.
But yeah, Naughty Dog could be a good purchase. Naughty Dog could be a good purchase.
It wouldn't be a bad one. I just don't think it'd be worth
I think it
even
would.
the small amount I think it would cost.
No. If Sony buy them and Sony say, go make another Jack and Dexter, or go make another Uncharted, that's going to be big sellers. People bought consoles just for Uncharted.
I don't know if Uncharted could be. I don't know if you could make another one. Want that story put to bed?
I mean, how many times has Tomb
That
Raider
doesn't
been
matter.
put to bed?
Exactly, yeah.
It's like Tomb Raider ends.
Who does
every
Tomb
game
Raider?
that
Is it
comes
Square
out.
Enix?
Yes. But
See, that would be a good one to buy.
It wasn't until Lara Croft went young that they actually stopped having endings in the game. Like, every Tomb Raider basically ended itself. And then they made another one. And then another one.
Yeah, but it wasn't an ending that couldn't be like reborn, sort of thing. So
No, but they did start changing the stories a little bit. Like, if something happened to Laura in one of them, maybe they just coincidentally forget about it in the next one. You know?
I know who I'd like
Yeah.
to see him buy. I don't know the name of them, so I'm hoping
Well, that
somebody
helps.
in chat or you two do. The makers, I can't remember. They made Life is Strange and Tell Me Why. And
In Life is Strange,
Hey,
Square Enix.
might have to check that. I don't think it's Square Enix.
I'm
do you mean
99%.
Telltale or something?
Hang on, Life is Strange.
Telltale series, but they're dead already.
No, it's not Square Enix. Who was
Life
it?
is Strange. Hang on, I'm looking it up. Oh, Square Enix.
Was it really Square Enix?
Yep.
Ah,
What was the
shit,
other game you
okay.
said?
Tell Me Why. But
I don't
that
know what
one,
that is.
that one was exclusive to PC and Xbox because Square Enix teamed up with the Xbox studios.
That was Xbox Game
Oh.
Studios, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, PlayStation should buy Xbox Game Studios.
Could you imagine what would happen if... I mean, it's not going to happen, but imagine if, like, Xbox bought PlayStation or PlayStation bought Xbox. What would that end up looking like? Like, what would be the end product there?
Nothing. It'd all be the same. Only they'd
Yeah.
they'd release the shittiest console possible for the opposite company.
Gaming would die. Console gaming would die.
PlayStation would release a
have to
shitty
have
Xbox,
competition.
and Xbox would release a shitty PlayStation.
No, you just have one.
Yeah, it's
But
like
you have
that
to have the
you
competition, otherwise it doesn't work.
What the play box?
Do you think Switch
It
is
can't
ever
it can't be called the X Station because that just sounds like a channel that comes on after 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Do you think the Switch is ever going to get in on this console race?
No.
They can't. They can't.
It's got too much of a different player base.
I mean, when they release the 4K dock, I think they could.
Nah.
What they're gonna come with?
I mean,
Wow.
let's be honest. Nintendo have some of the biggest game series in history.
Yeah, agreed. But
Yeah, but nothing that can compete with Xbox and PlayStation.
At the moment.
Okay,
Who's to
so
say
you reckon
what-
Nintendo
who-
are gonna buy Square Enix?
No, what I'm saying is, when they have this 4K dock, who's to say they don't go all out on a Zelda game, all out on a Pokemon game?
But that's all they've got, though. Games from the past. That's all that's ever released.
Yeah, but I mean, they may only release the same games, but at the same time, when they
Look at what they
released
did to
these
Mario.
games-
Look at what they did to Mario, right? They
Yes,
said, okay,
look
we
at
need
what they
another
did to
Mario
Mario,
game.
the biggest selling success in gaming
Hear me out.
history.
Yeah. I agree. They say we need another Mario game. Everybody loves Mario. What shall we do? Paper Mario.
I mean, there is only so many times they can do the same thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
but
That's my point, though.
that's so
they are
only-
doing the same thing over
Only
and over
Mario
again.
really falls into that, though. Like, Pokemon's always going to have new monsters, new story.
Zelda, Pokemon, it all falls into that. Really.
I mean, Zelda can always have a new story. Like, Zelda's a complete fantasy game. That can always have a new story.
Yeah. It can have a new story, but there's nothing new. They're taking old games, giving it a new story. They're just carrying them on. They're not bringing out a new game.
I think
mean,
the issue is
that's like every Call of Duty. That's like every Final Fantasy.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
not like
but-
every console. Xbox
So-
and PlayStation have a lot going on, whereas Nintendo
you're
are
losing
doing
me
the old
here.
Mario, Zelda.
It is. It's a lot of the
Now-
same
now I know what
games.
you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that is true, but at the same time, you're looking at the Switch as only having, well, Nintendo only having them games. No, those are just their big games, like Halo is for the Xbox and like Last of Us is for PlayStation, for example.
Yeah.
Whereas,
So it's like you're
Well-
saying if they bring out like the 4K dock station and stuff like that. If they turn and made like a Zelda 4K like realistic game or something, the Zelda fans won't like it. That's not Zelda.
no. So I don't think they
can
would
see
make
that
a
happening.
realistic game. What I'm
Not
saying
necessarily
is,
realistic,
right?
but
Okay,
Also,
so
with the
at
graphics,
moment-
with
cartoons
the
can only
graphics
get so clear.
Hold on, yeah, I was going to say with the graphics that Nintendo work with, how can you make that 4K? Like, it's not the same.
So, based on past games, I mean, yeah, it wouldn't really work that well. But having native 4K would mean you could have a great big display in much better clarity. Like, 4K does not mean it's going to look more realistic. 4K means it looks better when it's bigger.
Yeah, but people aren't going to go buying
True.
the console more than what they do now just because it's slightly clearer.
No, but what I'm saying...
It's still a cartoon game. They don't want the cartoon game. Or
I mean...
I'm saying like the people that might switch from PlayStation or Xbox to Nintendo, by the way.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, once they get the 4K base out, they have effectively a platform they can start targeting PlayStation and Xbox users with. Because it's like, they don't have to just remake Zelda for the 100th time. They don't have to remake Pokemon for the 100th time. They can branch out into new IPs.
You think they might start bringing COD back to Nintendo and stuff like that?
No, because that's still an existing IP. I'm saying they might come out and bring something new to the table.
I'm just saying if they did, that could help.
It'd still be cartoon like the rest of it, though. So
No, not
No,
necessarily.
no, not necessarily.
If it is,
Nintendo
if it isn't,
have a
I would
lot
love
of
to
ga-
see something different in
That's
that.
what I'm saying. If they
Metroid.
start bringing out the
Metroid.
popular games, I reckon they would do a lot better.
I bet you, right, if they brought out a 4K Metroid, right, that would sell consoles. That would keep the Switch off. Well, I mean, technically the Switch is already kept off the shelves because no fucker can get it. But yeah, like a 4K Metroid, dude, that would explode.
No, I don't think so. It's still a cartoon game.
I don't know, dude. Like,
No one
I
cares
think
about 4K
it's a-
cartoons.
It's a different
I mean,
target audience.
No.
It's a
Metroid
completely
isn't
different
really
audience.
that cartoony.
It's a completely
fair.
different audience, though, Sam. The Switch, anything Nintendo, really, the primary target is young kids. The bright
The primary
colours.
target, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Primary target, but the
It's a
current
family
top-
console, whereas the Xbox and
Yeah,
the
but I mean-
PlayStation.
Right, so who do you think owns a Switch more? Do you think more kids own it or more adults own it?
I think parents own it because of the kids.
I have to
Yeah,
disagree.
it's definitely kids, but
I think
the
more
parents
adults
play on
own
it
a
as well.
Switch.
Yeah.
Like, I think more adults individually own a Switch than kids do.
Because the parents.
I don't think
No,
so.
no, no, no,
It's-
no. That's not what I mean, Al. So, I think, like, sure, you know, you could get a Switch for the kids to share, and then you would have your own Switch, for example. Because, I mean, you've got to think...
You don't need to.
No, you can play together. Or
Yeah, but I'm on
play
about...
when they're not playing.
Yeah, but I mean, that's like saying, well, why have two consoles in the same house?
Depends if they're different consoles. No point in having two to the same console.
I know
Is there?
plenty of people who have multiples of the same console.
I've got 3.
Yeah.
Why? It depends on the purpose. Let's say you've got 3 PlayStations, I'm assuming, James.
Yeah.
One's yours, One's probably the missus, and one's the.
No, they're all mine.
Okay. are the upgrades of the previous?
Yes,
one?
but
okay, that's different.
they're also for different rooms. So, but I don't think that for Nintendo, I don't think that most people that own it are adults. I think a lot of them are adults, but I think most people that buy them is for the kids.
Yeah, and the parents end up playing with them.
The adults that play them is because nostalgia. They remember the games they played when they were kids. They love them. They want to carry on playing them.
I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair,
But if you're buying a console for your child, you'll buy a Nintendo. You won't buy a PlayStation or an Xbox, unless they specifically want it and they're a teenager.
Can I just jump in with 2 little points here? So whenever a new Pokemon game comes out, that is instantly first on Twitch. Whenever a new Zelda game comes out, that's instantly first on Switch. And it's like,
nostalgia.
There's going to be some kids there watching in there. But it's not just nostalgia though. Like, people genuinely enjoy the
We're talking
games.
about Twitch. That's people watching. That's not people playing.
But it's still
you
sort of
originally
the same
on
thing.
about the
Like,
I'm
talking the popularity.
Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah, I'm talking the popularity. Now, when was the last time you saw like an exclusive on Sony or Xbox jump to first on Twitch? Like, I've seen them get high, but to take the first spot.
Yeah, but watching and playing are different things. I would happily watch Pokemon, but I won't play it.
Same.
See, that's the opposite to me. I'd rather
It's not
play
the same
than
as
watch
the
it.
old ones.
I would watch Mario because it'll take me back.
By
I'd
the way,
probably play it, but I won't go out and buy it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
one thing that was actually mentioned in chat by Duke Togo is Metroid actually has the same art style as Halo.
Okay.
That's changed in the years then.
Yeah, I mean, it's no longer like on a Game Boy, so it will change. But no, it's like, that's what I mean. It's like Nintendo do have some really big popular IPs that they can make work on a next-gen setting.
Oh yeah, I'm not disputing that. I just don't think it will ever catch up to the next-gen consoles.
Yeah.
I mean, the current Switch, no, because there's only so much they can do with a new dock. If they brought out a new console that's actually focused as a console and not a handheld, they could very easily get in on that market, I think.
I don't know. I think even then there'd be backlash that, all right, why isn't Mario on this? And then they'd be forced back to pushing those games again.
Yeah, and it's widely known, wrongly, but widely known as a kids' console.
Yeah, I mean, I just see more adults with Switches than kids. And, I mean, chat is actually sort of saying the same as that, like, just more adults with Switches
So, for
than
instance, when I worked in Toys R Us, I can tell you that we sold more Nintendo Switches than we did Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah, but I mean, that's
You will,
at
you
Toys
will.
R Us.
But it was always the kids.
Yeah, but that's because you're working at Toys R Us.
No. We had adults coming in buying PlayStations.
Yeah, but what I mean is, like, Toys R Us is predominantly a store for kids. It's like, when you think about, like, us, I mean, we're general gamers, aren't we? Would you go to Toys R Us for a console? No.
Yeah, we had good prices, bro.
Okay, so... right,
I bet you did, yeah?
When you say good prices, how good are we talking?
We were the
For
cheapest.
him, for
We
him,
were the cheapest.
half
No,
off.
no, in general.
No, like, okay, how much? Like, how much difference?
I don't fucking remember from back then. We're talking like 5 years ago or some shit, but I would say about £20 cheaper.
Okay, and if you had to go 15-20 minutes further to save that 20 quid, would you?
I mean, we have a website, but yeah. Or had a website.
Yeah, but okay, so if you were going to order from online, would you order from Toys R Us?
Yeah, if they're cheaper.
Everyone's
Like,
always after saving
You
money.
can't just see Toys R Us as a kid's
No.
thingy. We sold
I know, but
adult
what
games,
I'm-
18-year-old
What I'm
games. We
saying
sold
is...
adult bikes. We
No,
sold...
but what I'm saying is, like, Toys R Us, like, yeah, it is mainly for kids. Yeah, you can order online. Are they,
I think
are
you're
they
mis-
going
I
to
think
get you
you're
the
forgetting-
console the next day?
Yeah.
And
I
do
think
they
you're forgetting how
charge
many
for
adults
shipping?
shop at Toys R Us for themselves.
Yeah, he is.
No,
It's different when you watch
I
it, you
know
see it different.
I know there's adults that shop at Toys R Us. But what I'm
Alright,
saying
so-
is, when you look at a console that is predominantly aimed
Would you-
towards children, of course they're going to go to Toys R Us for it.
All right, would you buy a PS5 from Smiths?
I mean...
They're one of the biggest PS5 sellers,
I think I'd still
Yeah.
go Toys R Us before Smiths.
but they don't exist anymore. So yeah, at the moment it's just
But,
Smiths.
yeah, but then I'd have no choice.
But
Yeah,
would you go to
but-
Smith's because they're the same
Yeah,
as Toys R Us?
but
They're a kids
it's
store.
not my predominant shop. Like, it wouldn't be.
It
my
depends on the
go-to.
savings. On the savings, you compare them to like Argos and Game and stuff like that. And if Smiths have got the better savings, then you go to Smiths.
I don't know about their savings. I just know they're one of the biggest PS5 sellers.
Yeah, but right. So I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm just saying it wouldn't be my go-to store.
Yeah,
Whereas-
but that's my point. Is
Yeah, so
alright.
I do get what you're saying, but I think you're sort of missing what I was trying to point out.
think
Maybe
I
I
get
was
what
just
you mean now,
explaining
though.
bad.
It's
But
more so kids are going to come there to buy it.
Yeah,
so
it's
they're-
like
I get what you mean.
if a kid wants a Switch, they're going to want to go Toys R Us because they don't know about all the different stores. They're just going to say, "Mummy, can we go Toys R Us? I want a Nintendo Switch."
Yeah,
you know?
that's true.
So it's like, yeah,
but
you're definitely going to
take-
sell a lot more there.
That takes us back to what we were initially on about with the Switch, though, because that's what you're going to get. Mummy, can I get a Switch? It's a children's console. You will see adults with them, but most of those adults have got families and kids of their own and stuff, and that it's primarily a family console.
I mean,
Yeah,
right. So the way it's marketed, yes, I agree. In practice, I have to disagree. Like, honestly, more adults have a Switch than kids.
You believe.
I believe, yeah. But I mean, I can't remember the
Sure,
last time
okay.
I saw a kid
For this
have a Switch.
for this purpose, are you saying single, non-parent adults?
I mean, I'm just saying adults in general.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
adults in
every kid has
general
an
can
adult in the
can
house.
cover parents.
Yeah.
Okay,
which
right.
makes
So
sense.
hang on. Right, look at Ash. He's a parent. He has a Switch. Would he ever let his kid near the Switch?
He does.
Does he?
Yeah, he
Okay,
bought
that's
it
kinda
for his
surprising.
kid,
And then he sort of
started
stole
playing it
it.
himself. He started playing it himself.
I was going to say, because I know for a long time, like, you would not see him without the Switch.
Yeah, because the parents get into it.
Wait, no, I thought he bought it before his little one was born, because he bought it for Pokemon.
Yeah, to play with his little one.
I could have swore it was before his little one was born.
Well, he's got 2 kids now, so it depends which one. It wasn't for the
I
second
was
one.
on about the first one, the boy.
Yeah, I think he bought it because he's a big Pokemon guy anyway.
Yeah, I was going
I
to say,
think
'cause
he
I
did
know...
buy. I think he did buy it for himself to later play with
For the
his
sake
child
of myself
when
and the
they grow
chat,
up.
who are we talking about?
Just someone, me and Alan.
Right, okay.
know.
We've just sort of drifted off without.
Yeah,
everybody.
yes.
Yeah.
And you're back in the room.
But no, I think even though the Switch is marketed towards kids, I do think majority basis it's adults who own it because of the nostalgia factor on the games.
Yeah.
It's
I
like,
agree.
Zelda
I agree
will
with that.
sell any number of consoles. Pokemon will sell any number. It's like I bought my Switch just for Pokemon. I played Pokemon for 2 hours. I've not touched my Switch since.
I agree with what you're saying, but you initially started with this competing with the Switch competing with the Xbox and the PlayStation, correct?
Yeah.
It's a different
It's a
thing
whole different
altogether.
ballgame. Yeah.
Well, not really. Because I mean, okay, so what's PlayStation's market? What's Xbox market?
Adults mainly.
Yeah.
I mean, no. You're marketing to someone who wants to play games. You don't.
No,
go
there are different
for-
types of games.
It's a different demographic.
I don't agree. There's so many kids games on both consoles.
There
Yeah,
is.
but there's not
there
so
is.
many adult games. That's the issue.
No, what I mean is like on PlayStation and Xbox, like there are so many kids games. You can't
Yeah.
say that is a console marketed to adults just because it has
Okay,
some
but-
adult games. Like the Switch has a lot of kids games, but it also has quite a lot of adult games.
Like
True.
what?
Well, Metroid
You've got
for
Mega.
one.
You know about the kids games?
No,
No,
I'm on
the
about
adult games.
Oh, on this. Oh,
It's
yeah.
like
what?
you've got Metroid, you've got Atelier, you've got Disgaea, you've got a
They're not
ton of RPGs. You've got Castlevania.
Yeah, but they're not adult specific. Like you've got
No, but you've got
18-year-old
R18
games on,
games. But that's
but
what
not
we're
very
on
many.
About.
That's the issue.
What? No, have you seen the Switch library?
No.
Dude, you need to take a look at the library.
It's fucking expensive.
It is expensive. That's my biggest problem with it. The Nintendo Switch store is far more expensive for everything. Like, worse than PlayStation for it. But no, you should take a look at the library. I think you're underestimating what games are actually on the Switch.
I probably am. I know they do have a couple of 18-year-old games
No,
on
no,
there,
no.
but
There's a lot more than a couple. Like, it is a massive, massive library. Keep in mind, not all games get advertised and things like that. Not all games end up in shop
yeah, no,
floors.
of course.
But no, you should definitely take a look at the library, because there are a lot of really gruesome games on there.
But the way I see it is Nintendo is advertised toward kids and adults play it. PlayStation and Xbox are advertised towards adults and kids play it. Adults are the ones paying for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
I mean,
we're in this situation now where things have flipped.
Honestly,
There's a lot of kids playing Xbox and PlayStation, and a lot of adults playing Switch.
I think
Even though that's not probably their primary target.
So I think we're just overreacting to this. Like, all three consoles have essentially the same audience. You know, it's like kids play them, adults play them. It's like, yeah, more kids might play one, more adults might play the other. But at the same time, the audience is still fairly similar, I would say. So the only reason you guys
we were on about Switch's capabilities.
Yeah, I know. I know.
That's PlayStation though.
That's what I'm coming back to now. It's like you guys were arguing that the Switch really only has like Mario, Zelda, whatever, like Pokemon and that.
Not only, but the main.
Well, not only,
yeah. But here's the thing: when was the last time either of you looked at all the games on a Switch? Like, how much do you two know about the Switch?
I don't bother looking at them.
So, do you think you might be a little biased towards Sony and Xbox because you know what's on them?
Yeah, 100%.
It's like,
but doesn't that speak volumes though? If we're not really
an eye
at the Switch.
Well, no, because
we're like two in.
Yeah, it's like
however many.
You look at the Switch and think Mario's.
Yeah, no, but if there's two, there's more. And I know there's going to be arguments on both
there's
sides.
Nothing to stop them from advertising differently.
Yeah, but they don't.
But
they could in the future.
They could, but
it's like whatever they do now doesn't matter. If they want to jump into the next gen market and actually compete against Sony and Xbox, for example, there's no stopping them actually changing their strategy.
I don't think they're even going to try to compete against Xbox and Sony, just for the pure fact that they're doing fine with their own thing. They don't need to compete. There's already enough people playing and buying the Switch.
But they're a company. They're always going to want more.
Yeah, but the Switch stands out as a separate thing. When you talk console wars, I know that's not a thing anymore, but Xbox and PlayStation always pop up.
Yeah,
you don't hear Switch.
Okay, so here's the thing though. When the PlayStation 1 first came out, there was no Xbox. Then eventually the Xbox came out, the console war started. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Now, who's to say that, like how the Xbox jumped into the console market, why can't Nintendo bring a third entry?
Because the last time they tried to do that, we ended up with the Wii.
No, I wouldn't say that was an attempt into mainstream consoles. That was more a fitness console.
It was the third contender for the time period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair though, it outsold every other fucking console. Like
they did very well.
It's like they won the console war. They outsold everything.
But it died. Whereas Xbox and PlayStation then went on to sort of live for longer.
It don't matter. The generation that we came out in was 360 versus PS3, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
The Wii outsold both those fucking consoles.
But it was because of the controllers. Now both of them.
Yeah, it was the interactivity.
And it's like, you've got to remember, after the Wii, they went to portable, not console. So it's like, you can't really compare that. But even then, the Switch is outselling every console.
But it's because it's like health games and stuff like that. People buy it to do like home gym.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like Nintendo bring a console out, it outsells everyone.
When was the last time you heard the words hardcore Switch gamer?
I mean, when was the last time you heard hardcore PlayStation gamer?
A lot more frequent than Switch gamer.
No, I mean typically.
To be fair, I've not heard any of them. Yeah, just hardcore gamer.
But when everyone's talking about games though, they're talking about Xbox or PlayStation.
No.
The majority do.
I've got a point that I'm struggling to make.
I mean, when I think game, I think game. I don't think console.
Right.
So are we forgetting about PC here?
No, because that's sort of what I'm getting at too now with him. It's like, you just said, Al, like, when people think hardcore gamer, they think Sony, well, they think PlayStation or Xbox, yeah?
The real hardcore gamer is going to be PC. I wasn't counting them because they're going to outshadow everybody.
Yeah, but I mean, like, when you get down into it, all a hardcore gamer is someone who plays a lot of games. Like, it doesn't matter what they play them on. It doesn't matter whether it's PlayStation, PC, Xbox, whatever. It's like, How? Look at the Nintendo
actually,
64. That's best
back-
console ever released, in my opinion.
Go back to what you were on about earlier. You were trying to say that the Switch can potentially compete with the Xbox and PlayStation, right? But you also said that the Xbox and PlayStation are essentially mini PCs. So if Nintendo do attempt that, they've got a big leap.
So the Switch could essentially get them onto the floor. It won't let them compete, though, in terms of hardware performance. But we obviously don't know anything about what they're doing with the 4K dock, and we also don't know what they're doing with their next unit. They could make a console.
In my opinion, they're being clever. They're doing the right thing.
They're
Stay
staying
away
out
from
of
the
the
console
market.
wars. Exactly. Be your own thing. People
That's
will
what they're
hate
good
it.
at.
And then
That's what they're
everybody
doing,
who
and that's
has a
what they're good at.
PS5 and an Xbox Series X or
Exactly.
an Xbox One
They-
X or whatever's coming, I don't know, I've already lost track because of all these
They
fucking
don't want to
memes.
compete.
But it's
That-
like,
that-
everyone,
that is the
look,
right move.
everyone
You
who
have one
owns
of those
these
and you have
consoles
one
is
of
still
us.
going to buy a Switch.
That is the right move, though. Either you can end up in this rivalry with everybody else, or you can have some family-friendly fun. They're doing their own thing, and it's working. They don't need to compete.
No.
Oh, no, I mean, I'm not saying should they. I'm saying could they.
Could they? But no, they couldn't because it's a completely different
I mean,
sort of console.
I think
And
they could.
It's working.
Who's to say they
They
can't do both?
outsold. If you think about it, if you look at the last generation, they outsold the PlayStation and the Xbox, at least at the start anyway. That's a win. You don't need to compete.
I mean, the Wii U flopped.
That is a
to be fair.
huge win.
Like, the Wii outsold everything. The Wii U flopped, and then the Switch is back to outselling everything.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, I think they're sort of doing it cheekily with the Switch. Because they're limiting stock. Because, like, no matter where you look, you still can't really get a Switch. Everywhere's
You
still
can
sold
in the
out.
UK.
No, there's still
It's
a
only
lot of-
US.
There's still a lot of places in the UK that are sold out. It's like
Yeah, but they're not openly priced
When
or
I
whatever.
got mine, I had to get it from Curry's because everywhere else was sold. Couldn't get it anywhere.
What's wrong with curries?
I hate Curry's, and the fact they have over 150,000 reviews at one store says a lot. But no, I dealt with Curry's twice, and I had a shitstorm with them both times. So.
Fair enough.
But we've sort of gone like
It's
kind of
it's
half
so-
an hour
so-
over, so
It's
we
so
should.
ironic how you talk about curries and shitstorms.
Yeah, we should probably look at wrapping up. We've gone way over.
Half hour over.
Yeah, we got a little heaty towards the end there. Anything you guys want to say in closing?
James?
I think
He
he's
always
too
has to
busy.
push it on to me straight away.
I asked him because I knew he had his mouth full.
I'm not eating all day, all right? But no, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
Oh,
Yeah, likewise, really. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time.
He
right.
says the same shit every week.
So do you.
It's the only
Yeah,
thing
but
to say.
he's,
Isn't it?
you, James, and then he just agrees.
And with that, everybody, like James and Alan already said, thank you so much for tuning in to episode
just
number
did it.
5 of the Simpler Complicated podcast. And of course, if you do want to check out Alan or James, check down in the description. Links are there. And we will see you next week for episode number 6, where maybe more salt, maybe more rant, hopefully less next-gen drama, but there's going to be a whole lot of complications. With that, though, thanks for watching, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.